What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas to all of you. Come on in here. Oh my God. Yeah, I am so happy to be able to go live. I hope you guys have had a fantastic Christmas. Merry Christmas to the entire Lady Luck Club, to all the Lucksters, to all the members, to all of my mods, fantastic mods, to supporters, viewers. Jesus loves the trolls as well. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you guys had a fantastic day, depending on what time zone you're in. And perhaps you might be into December 26th. Shout out to everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Y'all, oh my good Lord. See, try to take a couple days off, Candace. Girl. Oh, you alien. Candace just never ceased to, I guess make a fool out of herself. Girl, you debunked yourself. And so, if you, in case you all haven't seen the thumbnail, it's the entire image that she posted of this fake ass report from this fool she had on her show. Because that's what it is at this point, Candace. It's just buffoonery. It's buffoonery. I've never seen someone so dead set on trying to prove a point and lying like hell at the same time, and then get mad when people question her or simply debunk her. Because Candace, no one owes you any evidence, heifer. We don't owe you that. And Merry Christmas to you anyway, you thunkhead. You can't make this up. Y'all come in and hit the like button because I'm on one tonight. It's Christmas. Did you guys have some good food? Get some great gifts? Or just enjoy time with your family? Got the chance to go out and enjoy a show like the kids and I did. Such a blessed week this week. Thank you all so much for tuning in. What's happening? I see some new people up in here. Oh man, Movie King says Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you too. Hey Amy, how you doing? I'm gonna tell you all right now. I have not checked any of my emails in the last 2 days. So that's something I'm gonna have to catch up on for the weekend. Um, yeah. Have to get caught up on emails. So if you've emailed me and I haven't seen it or I haven't responded because I haven't seen it, I had to go live on this. And I will catch up on emails this weekend. Of course, I will be going live. Of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, the whole weekend. And then next week is New Year's, but I'll definitely be doing live streams. Christmas is just for me and my kids. It's just like a one of those moments where you put down the phones and you just kind of focus. I focus on my children, and we had a great week. You all went to see a Christmas Carol live because I worked hard to save up money to be able to do things with the kids this week, and then we went to see a Nutcracker show. So we had a great week. I hope you guys had one as well. Just enjoy time with your family. So give me some time to get through my emails, you guys, because I enjoy reading you guys' emails. I really do. But I just haven't had time to get to it. But so give me time to the weekend to get caught up. And I will make sure that I address your emails and look into my spam folder because some of them are landing there and God knows why. Yahoo sucks. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button as you come in. We got some few things to look at. Oh Lord. I told you all this dude that was on Candace's show was a fool, right? And you guys know I said that I didn't even like, sometimes discernment is the best thing you can have. I just didn't even get a good feeling that he was the person proclaimed to be Mitchell Harrison Snow. Yeah, okay. So Candace just proved me right in her in this image that looked like it was just a typed up Word document of some sort. Yeah, she proved me right because it was a whole new another name in that so-called fake incident report from a military police station. You can't make this stuff up. Candace, You didn't even bother to look up what an actual incident report looks like from a military police department. I mean, the U.S. Army. You understand they have their own forms. This stuff Candace is out of control, y'all. She's just out of control. She's being so damn lazy. And yet this idiot is still raising money. $140,000. And the first name is now not even consistent. Let's not pretend like we don't have lookalikes or that this fool didn't go out and really just go all in on this scam and cut his hair, dye his hair, get some glasses. Probably because he already looked like Mitchell Harrison Snow and he's got a whole different first name. You can't make this stuff up. Candace acts like people supposed to believe her. No, only your coat believes you, girl. No one else believes you, heifer. We don't have to believe you. Ain't got to believe nothing you say. They want people to bunker. The audacity. Girl, please. But no, she want people to validate her. That's what she want. She want people to produce evidence to support the dumb stuff come out of her mouth. No, we'll debunk you all day. We'll prove you wrong. We're not. It's not on us to produce evidence to prove you right. No, we'll prove you wrong though. We'll do that happily. So the internet remains undefeated, and I'm excited about that. Candace selling on herself and all. Merry Christmas to you guys. What's going on, Francis? How you doing? Shout out to you over there in the UK. To all the supporters over there in the UK. I'm sure it's already December. Yeah, December 26th. Probably well into the morning. So Merry Christmas to you and yours. Let's see here. Deborah, how you doing? Merry Christmas. I love your show. Thank you. I appreciate that support. Thank you so much. Shout out to my mods. Francisca singing up in here. What's going on, Saint? Merry Christmas to my mods. I appreciate you all. Everybody speak to everybody. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm just putting up you guys' comments because I want to get started. Y'all make sure you hit the like button and tell me what number like you are. Colleen, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you, honey. Number 3 in the house. What's going on? Melanie has a smiling fish. We happy up in here. Yeah, I am on one tonight. You can't make this stuff up. So we got a few videos we're gonna show, and then this image photo that Candace posted on Twitter X. Because it's an image. It's not even a PDF or Word document. It's an image. I thought she was putting this stuff up on her website. The hell? Candace, what are those court documents he was talking about? Because if he's going to have a whole new first name, you would have to have court documents that match that. You do understand that, Candace. Consistency is the issue for you, girl. Because you keep lying like hell. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, my good Lord. Did you see Mary Ann video? I did. I saw one yesterday. I don't know if she did a new one today, but I did see one on yesterday on the 24th. And we're going to go over that in a separate one. It's something else. If it's not Umar the Oompa Loompa, we've got Candace the alien from outer space sitting here. It's just keeping up ruckus for nothing. Candace, you going along with this lie. No one told you to do all that. First, it was some Egyptian planes. Then that gets debunked. And then you get mad and throw a tantrum like anybody cares. Now we're sitting here with this fool talking about something with the U.S. Army and the military. And then you post up something that has a whole different first name. Because I told you so. I told you all. I said, I don't even think that's the same Mitchell Harrison. No. I don't even think that's the same guy. And there's something deep down, just discernment, man. Discernment. We bless God for it. Discernment. Sometimes it's just it's powerful. And I kept saying it. I said, I don't even think this is the same person here. He doesn't look the same. I don't get the feeling he's the same guy. He might be trying to mimic the real Mitchell Harrison Snow. But I don't think that's Mitchell Harrison Snow either. I think this is a totally different person, which is why I kept saying somebody need to do a DNA profile on his ass to get his true identity. And then lo and behold, Candace posts up something that's got a different first name because you just can't make this stuff up. Candace, you can lie to your coat, but you can't lie to everybody else, girl. It's not gonna work, Alpha. No. She think everybody's just as stupid as she sounds. You can't make this up. What did you dig up, LL? The title of the live made me giggle. Yeah, we going over Candace's image that she posted up, because she couldn't somehow like produce the actual incident report. And I do have an example of an actual incident report that was done according to the policy and procedure from the it's a U.S. Army military. It's like a handbook, and I'm gonna drop the link to that and everything. Because Candace, this is what happens when you take time to Google. I mean, it was as simple as that. Looking up what the actual incident report will look like from a U.S. military police station. She didn't even do that. This stuff is crazy. What's going on, Tavares? I asked her, Francisca, but no answer yet. What's going on? Did you? Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm behind on my emails. I did see it. I did see it. So that's a whole separate live, y'all. That's stuff going on with Umar. And I mean, I think we all pretty much discussed here with Lene Stacks that um Umar was under fire with a federal investigation. The problem is that Umar does not think that he can be investigated. He acts as if he's untouchable. You Oompa Loompa, people told you were in an effed up situation. You didn't want to listen. So now you found out the hard way. Right next to Candace. They're gonna find out the hard way. Oh, what's going on, Tavares? Merry Christmas to all of you all. Oh, I reached out to my military cousin. He is mentally let go. Yeah, that fool was crazy. Anybody that's willing to lie that bad and claim that they were part of the military, and then if you read this report thing carefully, you're like, wait a minute. You have so many inconsistencies. The main one being the name. It's eye opening. It's like mind numbing. It's mind numbing. It's like, why would she post this up? And then she uploaded it as an image. It's a screenshot of what looks like someone typing up a Word doc. And she took a screenshot of that, an image, a photo of that. And then that's what she uploaded as her so-called proof. It She expects her cult to believe everything she says. But Candace, you think everybody on earth is in your cult. That is where you miss the mark. It is completely asinine to think everyone on earth is supposed to believe what you say. You're out of your damn mind, girl. You and the devil are both a liar if you think that. We'll let her cult believe whatever they want to believe. We are not obligated to trust or believe anything Candace Owens says. Because free speech and free will. It's insane. That's how she carries on now. As if people are just supposed to believe her. Nope. Girl, we owe you nothing. She don't pay my bills. I don't care the shit. You can't hate this up. Yeah, I did. I saw it. We're gonna do a separate live on that, you all. He was a medic, nothing more. Yeah. He didn't even make moves like he was in some sort of, trouble or running from cartels. No. You don't sit here and come on a podcast to show, which is so crazy, and you claim that you're in fear of your life. First, it was her lying about a different name altogether, whoever Harry Meyer is, and then this guy comes out as if people can't just do some sort of imaging analysis, try to figure out who he really is. Candace, you have no idea people who are out actually trying to debunk you. They could be members of the military. They could be members of law enforcement. They could be members of government agencies actually debunking your dumbass. And then they send information to people like me. And we put it out there. Because many people know you're lying. Because you're lying. She's insane. She's certifiably insane. This is why a judge is going to order you to a psyche valve, Candace. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't happen. And the donations are taking Umar to court on the FDMD donations if you didn't see. Oh, yes. About time. Because y'all know I actually put out that complaint form with the IRS. So if you have a nonprofit and you're asking where's the money going, they're going to tell you there is a tax form you can fill out to file a complaint. And I've already said donors should be suing him. Just for the principle of the situation, Umar. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Oh, yeah, I'm very well aware. I've been advocating for that for like 2 months. Plus that and signs proof of life from his mother. So luckily, if something happens and he ends up, going to jail or something like that, they can definitely go into that house and see what's going on with his mother. So we're here for it either way. Oh yeah, absolutely. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Umar, you had this coming. Your Umar Tardians cannot override any investigation going on with any government agency. They can throw tantrums, but they can't stop it. Oh man. Yeah, just chips fall where they may. What's going on? Sure, how you doing? Hey, my sweeties, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your new grandbaby. Oh, she's so adorable. We love babies. A beautiful, beautiful baby. So I hope you had a fantastic Christmas with your grandbaby at home and just love on her. Listen, they only babies but for a little while. And then they start walking and talking. And then next thing you know, she's like, Grandma, I need to get my hair done every week. I was raised by my grandmother, so I was a bit spoiled. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I got my hair done every week. What's going on, Lawyer Love? How you doing? Y'all ready to get started? We got some videos to check out. Oh man, it's hell. I just want to make sure. Shout out to you. How you doing, honey? Shout out to all my moms. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm just trying to make sure I get you guys comments up. I appreciate you all so much. You Nerve Ensemble for the 299 Super. Merry Christmas, LLC. Just got here. Honey, you're not missing out on anything. I'm just going into my introduction. I appreciate all of you all. Anyone get any good gifts? Thank you so much for the 299 Super. The Nerve Ensemble is an absolute blessing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shout out to you for your generous contribution. Y'all, I am so excited. New music video up on my channel, Docs and Queen. Check it out later. I sure will. Hey, Mira, how you doing? What's going on? All right, y'all, let's get to it. Let's get to this because, Candace, you're helping us out. I don't even know what you think you're doing. You're helping us out. So I have two videos from Nick Brooks. If you guys remember the California attorney, I am so glad that he is posting up the content relating to the Macron lawsuit because, Candace, at the end of the day, that lawsuit is not going anywhere. You're still going to have to face Judge Rennie. More than likely, your motion to dismiss will be denied. And besides, you don't want it to be denied either way. Remember, you want the dismissal to be denied. You want it to go through to the discovery phase. That's what you said. You don't want the case dismissed. Most people wouldn't file a motion to dismiss if they don't want something dismissed. So we're going to check out Nick Brooks talking about some updates with that. And I do have the actual docket so that you guys can see after this video plays. And then there's a second video regarding Erica Kirk and Candace Owens regarding who really lost their reputation here. And we all know that's Candace, except the coat. The candy asses is just they're going to believe what they want to believe. I'm not here to sway them on anything. And they know they enter my chat at their own peril. So, I don't try to convince people that. I think that's the worst thing you can do is try to get people to change their mind on something. And sometimes people just have to come to the realization for themselves, which Candace will find out the hard way because she keeps effing around. She about to find out. Ain't you right, Candace? Yes, you are. You alien. All right, let's get to it. So we're going to start this off. Make sure you guys check out Nick Brooks. We had him here in the LLC last week, and it was an absolute pleasure. He is always welcome here in the Lady Luck Club. And our brother Jay Witt podcast had joined us as well. And we had a great discussion. We was able to ask questions, especially about the lawsuit. And he gave his honest opinion and input. And I'm going to post the video link in the chat. If I can get one of the mods to drop his YouTube channel link in the chat, make sure you guys go check him out. What's going on, Jay the Informant? How you doing, huh? As well as Jay the Informant. He's another fantastic content creator. S-Files, you always, as always, drop your link to your YouTube channel in the chat. You don't even have to wait for me, girl. First six is Jay Wood sent me the lyrics. I made it to a song, made the video. It's pretty catchy when you can dance to it. Okay, we'll check that out. What's going on, Mila? How you doing? So as far as drop your YouTube channel link, and if I can get one of the mods to please drop the YouTube channel links for Jay the Informant as well as Nick Brooks. Let's support these fantastic content creators, um, and show them some love. And then when you guys can see and hear, put a one in the chat. Let's get to it.
In McCrone v. Owens, request for admission. Emmanuel and Bridget McCrone sued Candace Owens in a Delaware Superior Court for defamation over claims that Bridget was born male and other conspiracy-style allegations. We're going to talk about what requests for admissions are, when they show up, and how both sides could use them to lock in key facts in this case. A very quick backdrop. The McCrone's complaint describes a campaign of global humiliation, an 8-part Becoming Bridget series, and related content that allegedly recycled false conspiracy claims about Bridget's gender and the couple's past to build Owens' audience and revenue. They say she kept going even after prior French litigation and multiple retraction demands that attached birth and marriage records. That's the factual context for drafting sharp requests for admission. Requests for admission are written statements where you ask the other side to admit or deny very specific facts or the authenticity of particular documents. Unlike interrogatories, you're not fishing for explanations. You're trying to narrow what's actually disputed so you don't waste time proving easy things at trial. If the other side admits a request, the fact is treated as true for purposes of the case, and silence or non-answers can even be treated as admissions under the rules in many courts. So, in a defamation case like McCrone v. Owens, well-drafted admissions can quietly decide half the case before a jury ever even hears it. Timing-wise, requests for admissions live in the same neighborhood as other written discovery. In practice, you usually see them after the pleadings are set and basic discovery has started, when both sides know what facts really matter. Delaware civil rules explicitly treat requests for admissions as part of the discovery toolbox, alongside interrogatories, document requests, and depositions. Here, once the court issues a scheduling order in McCrone v. Owens and discovery opens, requests for admissions become a way to lock down things like authenticity of records, prior lawsuits, and what Owens actually said on particular dates. If you're the McCrones, you want Owens to admit as many clean, foundational facts as possible. Sample requests for admissions in this case could look like this. 1. Admit that on or about March 15th, 2024, you published a video episode in which you stated that Bridget McCrone was born male. 2. Admit that before July 23rd, 2025, you received at least one written demand from counsel for Emmanuel and Bridget McCrone stating that your allegations about Bridget McCrone's gender were false. 3. Admit that you have not obtained any birth certificate or government-issued identification document contradicting the French civil records attached to the retraction letters sent to you by the McCrone's counsel. If Owens admits even to some of those, the McCrones no longer have to prove publication dates, notice, or the basic authenticity of their records. They come into trial as established facts. Requests for admissions can also go closer to the heart of liability. Courts allow requests to admit the truth of facts and even the application of law to fact, as long as you're not just asking for a pure legal conclusion. In McCrone v. Owens, that might look like this. 1. Admit that at the time you published the statements at issue, you had no personal knowledge of the circumstances of Bridget McCrone's birth. 2. Admit that you were aware prior to July 23rd, 2025, that French courts had rejected similar claims about Bridget McCrone's gender as false. 3. Admit that your statements about Bridget McCrone's birth sex were understood by your audience as statements of fact rather than as jokes or satire. Owens can deny, but
and I'm so glad he said that, because this is what really catapulted this lawsuit. The moment Candace started saying it is a fact, or Brigitte Macron was born as a male, that is a fact, and she repeated that over and over again, the average listener would not take that as her giving just a mere opinion or satire or joking. They would take that as a fact because that's what people would perceive that to be based upon the terminology she's using. When you say flat out, it is a fact, I have proof to show that it is a fact. I can prove that it is a fact. And when you're using even the term fact, you're substituting that for what you should be saying as an opinion. She's not even leaving it vague or ambiguous. She's being very specific, making these affirmative allegations as matter of fact with no evidence. But yet, she wants the Macrons to prove her right, just like she does with everyone else on earth, based on her dumbass allegation. And they're not obligated to prove Candace right. They're going to go to court and prove that she defamed them and that they suffered damages because of it. That's their burden to me. When Candace makes these allegations because she doesn't understand the definition or concept of a burden, it is her burden to prove what she's saying is factually based. It is her burden to support her claims with allegations with evidence. That's her burden, not everybody else on earth. When she claimed that someone called her, some high-ranking French government employee called her saying, "Oh, there are payments being processed, the transactions going through Club de Sang from the French president." Obviously, there's a paper trail. Why didn't she simply ask for this paper trail from the person that she is alleging called her and told her this paper trail exists? It's lazy. She's not a journalist. She's certainly not an investigator. She's just impersonating one. And that's a crime. And because of the damages, the consequences to the stuff that she says and does actually ends up hurting real people. That's why she has to be debunked. But you would think if someone calls you and tell you that someone's making payments, and I've seen these transactions somewhere just for your life to be taken, you would ask for that evidence. She didn't do that, but yet she made these allegations as a fact. She stated it as a fact, but she did nothing to show that it was legitimate or authentic. She didn't ask this employee for those transactions. She never filed a formal FBI complaint. And she admitted she never even sent the formal email, which that's not how that process works either. And then she refused to post up the actual FBI text message. She sent to this so-called high-ranking FBI government employee official, whoever that person is. That's how ludicrous that whole thing was. But it's not the rest of France or even, the rest of humanity's responsibility to prove Candace is right about something. We don't owe her shit. It's her job to prove her allegation to be true. Just like with this fool she had on her show. And in pursuit of her trying to keep from looking like a jackass, which is what she already looks like, she posts up this nonsense where she further proves that it's false and fraudulent, that this guy is a con artist and that he is absolutely psycho. And she's even crazier for having him on her show. This is what she's putting out to her people on her platform. Now, since they're cult members, they don't give a damn. But she expects everyone else to go out and support her nonsense or just automatically believe it. We don't have to. We don't owe her that. She fails to simply support her allegations with simple evidence, simple, basic evidence. Nope. But you purport things to be a fact with no evidence, because the only way it can be factual if it's supported by evidence or documentation. Your opinion, or simply because you said so, it's not a matter of a fact, because that's not evidence. So when they get her little ass under oath, they're going to ask her these questions. They're going to have her answer yes and no questions and have her confirm basic fundamental facts of things that can be proven, like her doing a video and then saying words purporting this allegation to be a fact, because that video can simply be played. We don't care that Candace Owens has tapped into some alternate reality. In this reality here on Earth, she made several videos purporting Brigitte Macron to be a man as a fact, or to be born a male. Or on top of that, having some sex change, which would that imply that she was born a woman first? At some point, you're implying she's a woman because there's some sort of sex change. Implied that there was some sort of switching of identities. No, that's what that fool on your show did. Sounds like he stole somebody's identity, Candace. Because his first name is not even matching now. But when she said that as a fact, Brigitte Macron was born a male. Okay, you messed up. And now she's throwing a tantrum because she's being sued for it. The Macrons are showing us all how it's done. And this is the only way to get Candace Owens on the record to have to attest to the things she said is to file a lawsuit against her. Period. TPUSA, Erica Kirk, they're going to have to do the same thing. Tim Pool, all these people that are saying or hinting towards litigation needs to go ahead and do it. Because it's the only way she's going to be forced to put this stuff on record. Is it going to stop her from talking? No. But then she's going to see when she goes to court, you can't just go in there and cut up and act like a fool in that courtroom. They'll hold your ass in criminal contempt of court and direct if you do it in front of the judge's presence. They'll sanction you. They'll sanction your attorneys. She's not going to be able to act the way she wants to act and behave the way she wants to behave in that courtroom. And the way she's going, this judge is going to order her to a psyche eval because they're going to look at all these videos and then they're going to look at all the other things she's saying and doing. And they're going to be like, something is going on with her mentally. And if she gets ordered to do a psyche eval, she's going to have to do it. And Candace, I'm sure there's a lot of documentation you don't want to be put to the public through the discovery process. I know you know that there's a lot of documentation you don't want to get out there because the moment it starts going through the courts is when it becomes available to the public. So I already told you all, the odds of her trying to reach some sort of settlement agreement, it's like 88%. I just hope the Macrons say no, kick rocks, we're going to trial. And we got a jury demand, so it's going to be a jury trial. Because at some point, she's got to learn. Saying what you want to say, there's a price to pay for it when you're lying like hell. And we're not obligated to sit here and prove her right about a damn thing. We owe her nothing. So, Candace, take your ass to court, girl. This is going to be good. I can't wait till they put her under oath and depose her.
Very clean admission here trims what the Macrons actually have to prove and sets up impeachment if her testimony drifts later. Owens' side can use requests for admissions offensively too, especially to narrow damages and to show pre-existing controversy. Sample requests aimed at the Macrons could look like this. 1. Admit that prior to March 1st, 2024, at least one French media outlet had published allegations concerning Brigitte Macron's gender. 2. Admit that you have continued to appear in public, give interviews, and perform official functions since the publication of defendant statements. 3. Admit that you are not seeking to recover any specific lost contract, employment position, or governmental office as damages in this lawsuit. If the Macrons admit prior publicity, ongoing public life, or limits on categories of damages, Owens' team can argue the incremental reputational and economic harm from her content is much smaller than the complaint suggests. Big picture, requests for admissions in a case like Macron v. Owens are about cleaning up the battlefield before trial, getting both sides to admit basic facts, authenticate documents, and narrow what's really in dispute. They don't look dramatic on YouTube, but they're one of the quiet ways defamation cases get decided. Because once you've admitted a fact in a request for admission, you don't get to refight it in front of the jury. If you found this video helpful, please hit like so more people see it. Before you go, tell me in the comments, should courts force parties in high-profile defamation cases to admit or deny sensitive facts about their personal lives, or is that a step too far? If someone you know follows Candace Owens or works in the media and politics, send this to them so they can see how requests for admissions really work. And if you want more breakdowns like this from a California attorney, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you very much.
Oh, he's so dapper. I love it. Let me show you all the docket right quick. So here's the docket here. As you all can see, there is a stipulation for this proposed order governing word limit and deadline for the reply in support of the motion to dismiss by 7,500 words, due January 9th, 2026. So far, that is the status of this case. And it's it's a stipulation. So that means that both sides have agreed to this extension, because that's essentially what they're asking for. You know, we need an extension to add more words on here because reasons, especially when they're simply wanting the matter to be dismissed and for the first amended complaint, the FAC, to be stricken. we're back at square one. So they want to have more words to reply to their answering brief from the Macron's attorney. So anytime there's a motion filed, the opposing party gets to respond, and then the moving party that filed the motion gets to reply to the response. And then if the opposing party wants to do an objection, sometimes it can just go on and on and on. I wish they would just request for a hearing on this already so we can get this moving. Because at this point, we'll be at this all day. So this reply to the Macron's attorney's response to Candace's motion to dismiss is due on January 6th. So of course that will put back, any hearing on the motion to dismiss overall by at least a week or so. I just hope that they request for, a hearing and get that on the calendar because there's a way, court calendars and stuff are available to the public. So I showed you guys the way that you can look at the court calendar to see what has been assigned for at least a week at a time regarding civil matters in the court by a judge. You can actually look at Judge Rennie's calendar and see what he has docketed on the calendar to hear what matters he has to hear. They need to just get going with this. That's where we at. And the back and forth is just stalls it. So of course the order, because they stipulated, was signed and docketed on December 13th. So ordered, they, both parties agreed to push back the reply, so that Candace's attorneys can, reply to their actual response to their motion because reasons. Because they need extra time to produce 7,500 words. Oh man, this thing is getting ridiculous. The back and forth is just, just move forward with it. And Candace, listen, she can always at any given time tell her attorneys, can you all just go ahead and get the hearing? This is eating up billable hours. Now she's asking for money for security when I really think it's for attorneys. Because that's how I feel about it. I think she's asking for money for her attorney fees. These billable hours with 3 attorneys, yeah, that can eat into a budget. Candace, you and Boys Club are worth what, 244 million? Might be a little bit more now. Um, Tell him he needs to start signing some checks. You asking your audience who's, they're cult members. So they, of course, they're gonna say, okay, master, we'll do what you say. So they're just gonna send her money either way. Just like they're sending this fool money and they can't even ask questions about his first name. You can't make this up. So let's get to this next video with Nick. And he's going over, of course, this reputational damage being done because Candace opened her mouth. And she wants to say words but not be held accountable for them. It makes no sense. So let's get to this and then we'll get to the dead to tot of it all. This dumb post she put up that was not even in a Word document. It was an image. And I'll show you all that. And then there are a couple of videos from Artie Troll. Shout out to him and Jay Wood Podcast that we're going to check out. Just because you got now Alex Jones, who had to pay $1 billion because of his conspiracy theory and nonsense he was saying about kids who were uh, murdered in a school. And he had to be taken to court for that. And even he's coming out. As horrible as what he did and said, even he's coming out debunking Candace. What? You can't make this stuff up. All right, so let's get to this video here. Ain't no reply. Hey, Laura. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Road. No sound. Wait. Y'all was saying there's no sound? Can't hear? Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Okay. No sound on his video. All right, let's reconnect. Okay, let's reconnect. Let's reconnect. We're gonna start this thing over. Let me know if you can hear sound now.
I'm Nick Brooks, a California attorney, and today we're asking who actually took the bigger reputational hit from Candace Owens' recent attacks on Erica Kirk, Erica or Candace herself. Owens has pushed conspiracies about Charlie Kirk's assassination and hinted at betrayal inside Turning Point USA, with suspicion falling on his widow and colleagues. That's defamation per se territory if the accusations are
You can hear?
false.
Cool.
We'll break down the law and then look at how this may have backfired on Candace's own reputation. After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Candace Owens started questioning the official story and floated.
I want to pause it. I want to make sure you guys can hear. We'll go back a little bit. He's speaking about the reputational hit between Erica and Candace. You guys can hear. Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Shout out to Laura. She gifted a membership to the LLC. I appreciate that. What's going on, Caleb? How you doing? Rose Stewart, the young lord, is doing a great job. He absolutely is. And I love his approach and the tact that he has with being, fair on both sides, being able to give insight from both sides. So when in the previous video he was talking about, the admissions, getting statement of facts on the record, he gave scenarios of how that could sound, coming from the Macrones and coming from Candace. And some of the sample questions, as far as admissions to these just basic fundamental facts that can be researched, looked up, read, or seen in videos by members of the public, how that can sound coming from either side. So that's what you expect an attorney to be. You expect them to be neutral and impartial. And then, of course, it gives insight on what to expect as these proceedings move forward through the court. Because I just find it hard to believe that Judge Rennie would grant this motion to dismiss, especially at this stage where Candace has already admitted she has LLCs in Delaware. It's insane. She literally threw that whole defense out the window. Oh, Candace. See, this is why people I don't want you to shut up. I want you to keep on talking. Because you debunking yourself now. Because you don't, this is a ruse. This is a hoax. You went from going after Brigitte Macron to now you're trying to go after Erica Kirk and TPUSA, and you're trying to go after Erica Kirk through some fool who's a psychopath, going on military bases and being escorted off. We'll get to the dumb statements or whatever she typed up and took a screenshot of and posted up as an image. Yeah, we'll get to that. But this is where we are now. So let's get back to it.
Point USA, with suspicion falling on his widow and colleagues. That's defamation per se territory if the accusations are false. We'll break down the law and then look at how this may have backfired on Candace's own reputation. After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Candace Owens started questioning the official story and floated theories involving foreign governments and people close to Charlie. She implied TPUSA insiders may have betrayed him, and many viewers understood that as pointing to Erica. Meanwhile, TPUSA's board unanimously chose Erica as CEO and chair to carry on Charlie's work, and her big public moment was a simple plea to Owens and others to stop. That contrast sets up both legal and reputational analysis. Legally, the hinge is defamation per se, statements so serious that the law presumes reputational harm, like accusing someone of a crime or betrayal. Implying a widow and her team were complicit in a murder or cover-up fits that category, if it's false. And Erica stepping into TPUSA isn't some strange power grab. There's a long history of widow succession, where a spouse continues a late husband's political role. From Arkansas's Hattie Caraway taking her husband's Senate seat in 1931 to Doris Matsui entering Congress after.
That's the best way to do it, no reply. Why do you all think I keep telling you all to hit up a tip line? Candace, you're not even smart enough to know when you're being trolled, girl. Because you don't vet your tips at all. And her saying, oh, I verified everything, I vetted everything. No, No, she didn't. Yeah, no reply hit the nail with the hammer. He said, I learned that we can take Candy. We can't take Candy's head on, but we can pollute her clothes and loop info system with enough toxic info to crash her feedback loop, which is what is happening exactly. Merry Christmas, Leper. How you doing? Happy holiday to you. Hello, Merry Christmas, Nika. Is Nika? Let me know if I'm saying it right. Close loop. I got you, buddy. Yeah, keep hitting up that tip line. Candace, this is getting fun for us. Okay, girl. Like I said, you have no idea who is behind the scenes debunking your ass either. Because you don't vet your tips either. You can't even tell when she's being trolled. You can't make this stuff up. We love trolling
Her
Candace.
husband's death. Erica leading TPUSA with a unanimous board behind her fits that pattern, not proof of a conspiracy by itself. On
Yeah.
top of that, you layer in whether Erica is a public figure and whether Candace showed actual malice. Quick refresher. Defamation is a false statement of fact about a person published to others that harms their reputation. Defamation per se is a special category where the content is so poisonous, such as crime, serious dishonesty, professional betrayal, that courts assume damage without detailed proof. Public figures generally must also prove actual malice, that the speaker knew the statement was false or seriously doubted it and said it anyway. That's the lens
Right.
for evaluating Candace's statements about Erica and TPUSA. Candace frames a lot of this as just asking questions, but she goes further than that. She talks about betrayal inside TPUSA, floats scenarios of insider involvement, and publicly questions Erica's handling of funeral and investigation details without law enforcement backing. Those are factual insinuations, not pure opinion. If they're
Right.
false, they map cleanly onto defamation per se. The
Hmm.
actual malice piece comes from her doubling down, even after the
Yep.
documents, statements, and a long private meeting with Erica.
See, this is why the Macrones will win, Candace, because you doubled down. You have at least 4 videos, separate instances where you've doubled down and said that it is a fact that Brigitte Macron was born a man, born male. You can twist up man and male all you want. You're insinuating that Brigitte Macron was born with a penis. Yep. As if she didn't give birth 3 times. Taking away her motherhood and for what? And the emotional distress. Her own children are being, bullied and targeted. Her grandchildren are being bullied and targeted. No, you got this coming, girl.
Tried to address her claims.
Keep
That's
doubling down.
exactly
They're
the
gonna keep
kind of
proving
record
their
a
case.
plaintiff would point to as reckless disregard for the truth. On
Yep.
paper, Erica is the defamation plaintiff, and the law presumes harm if a court finds defamation per se. But look at how this is played out in public. Right-leaning and mainstream outlets alike have called Owens sadistic, dangerous, and conspiratorial, and some longtime conservative allies are clearly distancing themselves. Erica, by contrast, is mostly framed as a grieving widow trying to protect her family and staff, and as the board-chosen leader continuing Charlie's project at TPUSA. In practical terms, Candace may have done more lasting damage to her own credibility than to Erica's. For influencers, this is the real lesson. There's nothing inherently suspicious about a widow continuing her late husband's cause. Hattie Caraway, Doris Matsui, and many others did exactly that in Congress, and Erica's
Hmm.
move into TPUSA fits into that long pattern of widow succession. When you ignore that context and spin it into murder-adjacent innuendo, you're not.
And here's the thing: Charlie Kirk wanted Erica Kirk to take over in the event something happened to him. So if you add on the concept that there could be a living will with his last wishes of him wanting to pass on TPUSA to his own wife, then Candace can be mad until kingdom comes. No one cares. But she's not CEO of TPUSA, thank God. Because you can imagine the mess and the upheaval that it would be in right now. You got people that don't even want to ask her for any communication that she had with Charlie Kirk within the last 12 months of his life, where they were on good speaking terms, and he still considered her a friend. And if he only knew what she was doing now, there are several times where Charlie Kirk should have just called out Candace Owens. And this is what happens when you don't. It festers up. It's like a infection, because you scraped your knee on the ground and you failed to put some neosporin on it. And then it gets exposed to some bacteria and becomes infected. And then that infection grows, and that infection is not treated. And next thing you know, you're crossing the line into sepsis. When now you have just infection all over your body, plaguing you because you're too scared to go to a doctor. Even scripture supports Christians making sure that we call people out when need be. And we address real issues, especially when there's false statements being made, when they're just flat out lying. And they're doing it intentionally. Candace trying to use some fool who lied about his military experience and his life, or his name even, to go after Erica Kirk to say, oh, she was on a military base when there are 1,000 cameras everywhere. No camera footage. Not one time did she even ask him, why didn't you pull out your phone since you were able to take a selfie? Why didn't you pull out your phone and take a photo of Erica Kirk? Where's the camera footage to support this? Because we would need to visually see that. See what happens, Candace, when you pull people into your stupid scheme? And the internet remains undefeated. People are going to go out and debunk you. Because now you're making an insinuation, and it's not even an insinuation. You're trying to utilize this clown, this fool from your show, to say Erica Kirk and Brian Harper were on a military base. Were there cameras around? Are the witnesses around? If they wanted to sue you for that, don't you think that'll be the first thing they'll demand is evidence on this? And it can be so easily debunked. I think Paramount Tactical put up him and Artie Trolls. I've seen a couple videos where they posted up flight confirmation for Brian Harper, where he was taking a flight during when this alleged meeting was supposed to occur. And then you got this clown, this fool, able to just go into some secret meeting on a military base while he's supposed to be there to get some documentation. How did he even know about it? See, simple things like that. So if you put his ass under oath, how do you think he'll do? I don't think he would do well at all. I think he would walk himself into some perjury. And that could have happened, Candace. That fool you had on your show and you can both be sued and named as co-defendants. And neither one of you will do well under oath at all. You don't even want this lawsuit with the Macrons to go to the discovery phase like you said you did, because you're a coward. So perhaps you shouldn't do dumb things and make these allegations and assertions, or use other people to do it, knowing you don't have any evidence to support it. I don't care about what she types up in some Word document and then takes a screenshot of it and posts that image up on Twitter. I don't give a damn about that. Show me the camera footage of Erica Kirk and Brian Harper being on the base at the same time this idiot was on the base. And why did not even bother to take a photo or do a video right quick? You would think you would just capture that in an image, right? You would take a picture of that if you're going to take a picture of anything. But he could do a selfie of himself wearing the same polo shirt he was wearing in this so-called squabble they had. Because I refuse to label that as an interview. You can take stuff and spin it up all you want, but when it comes down to it, and she's forced to produce evidence, she won't be able to do that. And no one else is obligated to do that either. The lack of the evidence will be exactly what Erica Kirk needs to prove that she's lying and there's no evidence to support her dumbass allegation or his. You can't make this stuff
just
up.
Flirting with defamation per se and actual malice. You're inviting the audience, sponsors, and platforms to see you as cruel and reckless. That reputational boomerang can be worse than any single lawsuit. If you found this video helpful, please hit like so more people see it. Before you go, tell me in the comments, did Candace Owens cross the legal line in defamation per se, or is it just ugly but protected question asking that backfired onto her reputation? If someone you know follows Candace or works in political media, send this to them so they can see where the legal line really is. And if you want more breakdowns like this from a California attorney, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you very much.
This was awesome.
Document.
Hold on. So we got Artie Trolls here,
Hey, every
and Artie pulls up this image Candace posted up on Twitter X. So I'm sure you guys have seen it. This is something else. Let's get some comments in right quick. What's going on? Carrie says they said they were on a Zoom call or FaceTime for a few hours and they were married like 2 weeks later. Are you talking about Candace and Boys Club? Yeah, y'all know that's weird. 18 days from someone that's supposed to be a journalist. Candace, you don't even ask enough questions before you marry somebody. We know you don't ask questions when it comes to, all these dumb allegations you're throwing up. You literally, you know, accepted some sort of proposal over Zoom from a perfect stranger. She didn't know it. She didn't know anything about Boys Club. She didn't know a damn thing about him. 18 days, no romance, no date, no nothing. And he proposes over Zoom. I can guarantee you she did not ask enough questions to figure out exactly who he is. Because this is how shoddy her nonsense is when it comes to her bringing people on her show and she's trying to cover a topic. Candace, you're not a journalist. You're bad at this. You're bad at this. So you can imagine how her lack of questioning and actually asking reasonable questions spills over into her private life. Let that sink in for a minute. I can guarantee you opportunities for her to ask Boys Club George questions before he even proposed to her went over her head. And if what she's doing now is a reflection of her so-called journalistic skills, then you can see how people are asking whether or not their marriage is arranged. Because she didn't ask that boy any questions in 18 days. I highly doubt she asked him every question and actually was able to validate responses he gave to her. I highly doubt it. Seems like he was just desperate to hurry up and get married, meet some deadline so he wouldn't be cut off financially. That's kind of what I'm discerning here. Candace, we can theorize stuff all day, girl. We can do it too. We can theorize that, perhaps George felt, his biological clock was ticking and he just need to hurry up and get married and have some kids to secure his place in his family and, keep the money flowing. Maybe there's some sort of requirement for him to be married. Who knows? Who knows? And they got 4 kids now. The kids been brought into this. And if this is how she goes about handling issues or anything when it comes to her channel, you can guarantee she didn't ask George enough questions in 18 days to even feel comfortable to saying yes, reasonably. Uh, and she fell for it. That's what's so crazy. She fell for it. So she's got George, and the rest of us, we've got evidence. She doesn't vet shit. She don't vet no tips. She don't vet nothing. You can make this stuff up. She's already in 2 lawsuits, but she acts like she isn't worried about a third. Exactly. Candace, you still in that federal lawsuit, girl. Yeah, I have it up. I have to go over the Ford lawsuit. Yeah, Candace, you're in a federal lawsuit involving a pump and dump scheme. More fraudulent behavior, fraudulent activity. You put fake coins in front of your audience and had them buy these fake coins, knowing that they were absolutely worthless, probably didn't even exist. They just gave you money. Pump and dump schemes are fraudulent schemes. That's all it is. It's a fraud scheme. So I don't put the aspect of Candace committing fraud past her, considering the fact she's being sued for it. Candace. Russell Brand interview, she revealed she struggles with vengeance. Candace is absolutely vindictive and petty and retaliatory. She absolutely is. Look how she acts when it comes to someone not wanting to give her an interview. The young man whose photo she showed on campus, you know, that was pictured with another student. She put them up saying, I want to know who he is because he didn't, I reached out to him to give him an opportunity to respond. And he actually did not want to give me, he doesn't owe you that. But that's how she acts. That's what she does. When she reaches out to someone and says, "Oh, I'm trying to get some information from you," blah, 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 she gets mad and petty and then tries to out the person when they don't give her the time of day. Same thing she did with the Macrons. Brigitte Macron didn't owe her a sit down interview, a one on one. And Erica Kirk didn't have to fly out to Tennessee to say anything to her either. But there is a video where Erica Kirk says it was intentional. Her and her COO went there intentional, and she gave her what she wanted to give her, what she wanted her to know. If you listen to her wording, it's very, very specific. Candace Owens, like I said last week, walked away from that with nothing. She didn't get call logs. She didn't even ask for that message about Charlie Kirk being concerned about someone taking his life. She didn't even ask for that message. Erica Kirk gave her what she wanted her to have. And Candace Owens had to be okay with that. She can't demand anything out of anybody. So while Candace Owens, in her alternate reality, thinks she's queen of the universe, you know, the alien is learning the hard way, the ways of humanity and how we act here, how we are here on Earth as human beings. We don't owe her anything. Candace, be happy you still on our planet, girl. You can't make this up. Oh man, most people would be keeping a low profile, but she acts like she's trying to get sued. She said, Sue me, I want subpoena power." Yeah, I said Laura saw that and was likely like, seriously, what the hell? I know, right? She now victim to her fans. Oh yeah, she's playing the victim hard time. That's what narcissists do. When they don't get their way, they play the victim. They go crying, talking about how everybody's attacking them, and using terms like hate and hating, and you know, attacking, because they don't understand the definition of it. And they go out all on the limb to make it seem like now, oh, people want me to shut up. Candace has not shut up since September 10th. She has not shut up about anything going on with Charlie Kirk from day one. So the aspect of people wanting her to shut up when she's still talking is hypocritical, and it's a lie. And that's what she tries to weaponize and then tries to amplify out to make it seem like people just don't want me talking about this. We're so close, but she never says what she's close to. Because Candace, who pulled the trigger on the gun again? That's what she was supposed to be looking up. Who pulled the trigger on the damn gun? When she can't say that, then, she's sitting here talking about somebody's close to something and she can't specify what she's close to. Because she's certainly not close to telling us who's this so called alternative suspect in her world, in her mind, that pulled the trigger on the gun. She's talking about everything else but that. So, no one owes her anything. She's on the high midget horse. Oh, man. That's all. Somebody had a thumbnail with being on a midget horse. You can't make this out. That was store box. It was so funny. Oh, how is Russell Brand now? And how is Russell Brand credible? Ugh. How is Russell Brand ever able to even go and speak at AmFest? I have questions about that. Why is he allowed to speak at AmFest? Knowing he had Candace on his show while Candace is sitting here, going after TPUSA and Erica Kirk. They invited him to speak at AmFest, and for what? Like, I hope they understand they don't owe people a platform. They don't owe people the time of day. So if you go speak at an event, I don't care what it is, TPUSA needs to conduct themselves as if you're selecting people because they deserve to be there, not because you feel some obligation to that. No one owes him a microphone. And if he's willing to sit here and fail to correct Candace Owens when she was dead ass wrong, or at least ask for evidence of this stuff that she was saying, you're enabling that behavior. You're saying, oh, it's okay to sit here and lie like hell about somebody being spotted on a military base when you can't produce any of the security camera footage, or explain why you didn't take a photo. You don't have any witnesses that can attest to this sighting. Who are the people at this so-called meeting again? Why didn't you take a photo of any of this stuff? But you going around looking for records. And the man said several times he walked. Like those types of things she failed to even ask for and debunk. And then she perpetuates this all over Russell Brand in his interview. She goes out and repeats all this BS about Egyptian planes and all this dumb stuff. None of that have anything to do with her narrowing down to two people, 2 to 3 people that could be possible alternative shooters. None of that. Planes can't pull triggers on guns either. Things we don't care about. That's what she Hopper doing. It's distraction, if nothing else. And they entertain Russell Brand. I don't get it. They don't owe him nothing. He should earn that spot. It's just how I feel about that. Hope the peace of Christ around you and plenty of blessings. Thank you so much. You as well, Mira. To all of you all. Thank you so much. About Candy ass is big mad. Yes, they are. Pretty Pink says he has worried about the children, not a safe or good situation for them. Yeah. And the worst part is, kids can't help who their parents are. Carrie says this is why I think someone with deep pockets is backing her so she can fracture MAGA and the conservatives. Probably so. I mean, Candace claims she's not political anymore, but she's still harping on TPUSA, which is supposed to be a conservative nonprofit organization. So it's like, why even focus on something that is, you know, not completely political, but you have the majority of the concept of TPUSA being based on their conservative political views. Why even talk about it if you're not political? It makes no sense. The beauty of being neutral is that you can speak to the situations, whether it's something regarding conservatives or liberals, Democrats or Republicans. It doesn't matter. But she doesn't. She's been obsessed over Charlie Kirk, and it's just unhealthy at this point. She's gonna get ordered to a psyche eval. She's just gonna get ordered to a psyche eval. Let's see here. She has a nanny. Nanny claims she's a good mom. Go figure. Yeah. And even if she's a good, when it comes to her kids, like I don't, you know, her wanting to homeschool and stuff like that, she can do what she want to do with her kids. But what is a fact is that she accepted a proposal from somebody for 18 days after 18 days of knowing them. And we see how she doesn't ask viable, reasonable questions on a matter regarding someone's assassination. You can imagine the type of question she asked George before she accepted his proposal. Like, if all they talked about was conservatism and Catholicism, and that was the bulk of their conversations, they had it was no romance involved. He said it, she said it, no romance involved. You imagine these conversations here. Yeah, do you want kids? Yes. How many you want? 4. Okay. Like very just mundane. And we've watched an interview or whatever they were having between the two of them on her show. It's so bland and blonde. It's so boring. It's not even funny. I was like, I've never seen a husband and wife with 4 kids lack so much chemistry in all my life. It's so weird. The interactions is just ugh. That's how y'all act towards each other. Y'all can't even be yourselves. Boys Club, don't be yourself. We don't need to see that. Okay, y'all, let's get going. Let's get to this. Okay, so this is Artie Trolls. And I want to make sure I get this and Jay Wood's video in. And we'll get to the actual post itself. And he goes over this information regarding this fake military document. And it is just it's so well done. Shout out to Artie Trolls. By the way, if I can get one of the mods to please drop the YouTube channel link for Artie Trolls, make sure you guys go check him out and support him. Hit the like button on this video as well. Y'all hit this like button so we can keep this content up in the algorithm because people need to see this. So what I'm gonna do is play portions of this video, pause it, and then go to the post so you all can see it, and then drop the link for the actual incident report and what you should expect this to look like, because that information can be researched online. What an actual incident report from an army military police station on this military base would look like, the format, the structure, the type of forms that would be used. This is not it. Candace just typed this bullshit up like she does everything else. The call logs, her timeline, stuff that's not supported by any evidence. She just types it up. And she expects people to believe this is valid. No. So put a one in the chat. You can see it here. Let's get to it.
Everybody, how's it going? So Candace Owens gets brutally debunked here, and it's not even close, to be honest. Like, she comes in here and she thinks that this is going to be good enough evidence to show that this man, Mitch Snow, was apparently at the military base. Few issues with this. Okay, as a former security guard for Google, and we had some pretty top-notch security, I would say. We probably have some of the best security in the world, to be honest, when it comes to secure systems. Not necessarily the security personnel themselves, per se. Not to put Google down, but in the sense of, like, they're not armed or anything like that either. But they have these state-of-the-art, newest of the new, everything security systems, from gates that could stop, like, 200-mile-an-hour, fully loaded, 70,000-ton semi-truck, not ton, 70,000-pound semi-trucks. Could slam into those gates, they won't even budge. It's kind of wild. Not these crazy net gates that open up. They look like they're this wild, like, yellow net. A lot of that technology's old, but it doesn't matter. The thing about it is I know quite a bit about security. I know quite a bit about Risk 360s and quite a bit about doing different reports. And this is just not how we would ever do a report like this. This is a little sloppy. And the fact of the matter is there's a cursor right here. You see this cursor? What does everybody know that cursor to mean? It means you can edit it. It means that this report was never sent. So somebody, okay,
ooh, my child,
typed up this report.
My God.
Left it like this, very stupidly, in probably a Word doc or something, took a picture, and then maybe sent the report out?
That's what happened. Look how it's cut off on the end. Y'all see that on the side? I mean, it's not even a screenshot. Like, I do snippets throughout videos. I mean, in real time. This is not even a snippet. This is someone taking a picture of the computer screen. And they did this. A screenshot would get the entire screen. It would be perfectly cut and sized in a screenshot. This is someone taking out their phone and taking a picture of the laptop screen or whatever computer screen monitor she was typing this up on. And you see the cursor right here. So let me show you all what the real incident information report looks like here. Oh, because Candace, this is something you could have Googled, girl. This is what I expect to see if you're filing something. And let me go to the top. Y'all can see this. USA Rec Regulation 190-4, Military Police, Unclassified Summary of Change. This is incident reporting. This revision dated September 1, 2014. These forms, some of them have been revised, basically. So if you scroll down, you can see this was effectuated back on September 1, 2014. U.S. Army Recruiting Command, headquarters, Fort Knox, Kentucky here. Incident reporting, military police. Y'all see this here? And you can look this up. This is kind of like a summary of this stuff here. This regulation prescribes policies and guidance pertaining to incident reporting within the U.S. Army Recruiting Command. The incidents governed by this regulation include serious incidents reporting, commander's critical information requirements, and disaster reporting. So anything goes on on these military bases. This is just a form that you can be used here. And these forms are dated. They're codified inside of a policy. This is something that can be, even if you're on the intelligence military base, you expect these forms to kind of look like this. And I did just a Google search here. I'm going to pull up another one. I'm just going to pull up another one. Because I don't understand why she couldn't just do this. So they have, let's see here. All kinds of, these forms are even, they have like a naming systems, a classification systems for these forms. I'm trying to go up and pull something good. And then you can always go on the U.S. military website. Like all these forms here are available for people to be able to see an example of it. There was no reason for her to type that up like that. So let me share this tab here. I just put in example of military police incident report. So you guys can see here, original fictional example of a military incident report, police incident report that follows a realistic structure but does not use any real names or I want to say this classified information. So what you should expect to see there is this information here in this formatting. Military police incident report. You got the report number, date and time of report, reporting officer, incident type, date, time of incident, location, persons involved, subject, witnesses, summary of statement, actions taken, disposition, reporting officer signature. Because whoever filled this out has to attest that the information is true and accurate. It's just like any other police report. This is something she could have just Googled. Why didn't she just pull this up? Timu journalist Candace wrote a Timu report. And she wrote a report that's supposed to be done by a military police officer on the base that would have firsthand knowledge of this stuff, that would be able to pull, camera footage, to be able to gather eyewitnesses, to talk with the other officers that showed up at the so-called incident that occurred when they kicked his ass off the military base. You don't have just something like this, and then you got the cursor in the middle of the damn document, and this is an image. She didn't upload it as an actual PDF file. If she truly did a FOIA for this, or he provided a copy of it, I expect to see an actual incident report. That's not it. She typed that bullshit up and stupidly just took a photo of it and then uploaded that image. Because you just can't make this stuff up. You can't make this up. This is how it will look here. Type of report, initial, follow-up, final, data report, personnel involved. This is stuff that you would expect to see on a standard police report here for the military. The military police investigate issues and incidents going on the military base. That is their jurisdiction. So you would expect to see that information specific to that base. She just typed up some nonsense and want people to think that this is legitimate when it's not even on its proper formatted document that's supposed to have some sort of codified system or a policy number identifier of some sort on that form. The name of the actual form is supposed to be there. You don't see any of that. What you see in the header is this nonsense here. Executive summary up there. What the heck is that? She does not have the authority to type this up. Candace is not a military police officer. Her nor that fool, that idiot that was on her show, have the authority to type up a military incident report that's supposed to be done by a military police officer. She doesn't have the authority to do that. So this is something she typed up in Microsoft Word, because she would not be able to fill out the actual, true, legitimate incident report itself. And why she just didn't show that, I don't know. This is so stupid. Look how it's typed up. Exactly. How can a legal document get the identifying factors wrong? You can't make this up. Wrong. All of them, like the license plate, the driver's license, and the name. Exactly. The candy asses believe this stuff. Yeah, I just let them believe it. Because they think that people with a brain is actually out here trying to prove Candace right. The hell we are. Hell no. No, we're going to debunk her and prove her wrong. That's what we're going to do. Because this stuff can just be researched. Candace, you could have just looked this stuff up. I expect to see the actual military police officer or the investigator that did the incident report to have their name along with their job title, something at the bottom of this. I expect someone to have signed off on this, because that's what should be happening here. Reporting officer signature. You see that? Candace, you're not the reporting officer. Candace, you thunkhead, you alien. Maybe on her home planet, one of Jupiter's moons that's floating around in the universe. Candace, you're not a reporting officer for any military base. Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, pick one. I don't care. You're not a military police officer. You're not an MP. You're not a licensed or certified investigator. You're an impersonator at best. And then you bring another imposter on your show, and he still couldn't even give you the actual authentic, legitimate incident report that would have been done by an MP, by the military police. When incidents happen on the military base, the military police has jurisdiction over that. They would be the main investigators spearheading an investigation. No different than UVU, the campus itself having its own campus police officers. So if something happens on the campus of UVU, you have the UVU campus officers. These are police officers that work specifically for UVU, that have jurisdiction over that territory. That's their domain. That's their district. That's what they would be, the first line of defense. And then outside police officers in that county or that district would be there to help back up and support anything. So if anything happened on the campus, first line of defense is the UVU police officers. Same thing with the military base. First line of defense is the military police officers. And then if they need outside assistance, it would be from the police department within that district or in that county, maybe even the sheriffs. But you will not see some random podcaster who does nothing more than just gossip at this point fill out an actual, true, legitimate incident report that is supposed to be done by a military police officer. You can't make this up. This is this is so stupid for her to think that. So no, Candace, you type this dumb up, and you want people in their right frame of mind, because I don't give a damn what your cult members think or how they feel. I really don't, because they don't want shit here anyway. I don't care what they think. I don't care how they feel. They come to my chat at their own peril. This nonsense right here, you type this stuff up. You're forging incident reports that is supposed to be done by the United States Army MP on that military base, and you're forging information because you're not showing us the original. All this she could have made up, all this stuff she could have made up off the top of her head. What does she have to support any of this crap? She doesn't have any photos. She presented zero security camera footage. She presented nothing. The IDs, now y'all understand why I keep saying these IDs were ridiculous. Those IDs that this idiot, showed her and she pulled up on her show. Y'all remember those IDs where I said, why is this stuff redacted out, including the name? Why would the name be redacted out? Y'all remember those IDs? So we're about to find out why. Because I just thought that was the dumbest thing ever. You post up 3 ID cards. One of them was blurred out completely. The other 2 was heavily redacted to where you couldn't even see a name. But see, here's the thing. If his name is right, then it would have shown his name. It didn't even do that. It didn't even show a name. Here you go. This is blurred because reasons. This here, I've been told, was a dependent ID card. These are dependent ID cards. And you see here, no name even shown. Why would you blur out the name? If we know his name is Mitchell Harrison Snow, why would the name be redacted? We know who his name, right? If he's not lying about his name, that's at least the one piece of identifier that should have been shown on these cards. Candace lies like hell. It's hot. And she doesn't care. And you brought an idiot into this nonsense that aided you in lying, and now you're raising money for him. This is just the con here. This is the scam. Now we're about to see why even the name is blurred out. We're about to find out. And you get the candy asses that believe every word she says. I let them. I just laugh at them along the way. So let's get to this. Shout out to Artie.
Who knows? This report was not sent, though. This is an edited, like you could go in here, this person could click right here and just edit the words in real time. That's not a report. That's weird. Why would they take a picture during this, too, thinking this would be anything weird? If a weird guy showed up to Google and we cleared him, thinking maybe he's some sort of threat or something, we clear him and we tell him, hey, okay, leave.
Hit the like button.
Nobody ever had the idea to take a picture of it beforehand to show other people, especially if nothing came out of this. Exactly. If absolutely nothing came out of this whatsoever, we search this guy, we do all this stuff, and he's just like, no, I'm just sorry. I just, was wanting answers for something about employment or something like that, or I had answers that I wanted to get from here that I used to work here. We'd just be like, oh, man, okay, well, tough. Mm-hmm. Sorry, man, there's nothing we could do for you. And then we would type up our quick report, send it out to all the sites at Google. It would go to Mountain View first, then it would go out to everywhere else just to make sure that everyone's aware of the incident. And then we'd move about our day. I wouldn't think to ever take a picture of something like this ever, because it's such a nothing report. On Tuesday, 9 September 2025 at 1117, the Fort I never can pronounce this right. Fort Huachuca. I think is how you pronounce that. Fort Huachuca Military Police Station was notified by Daniel Head, CW2, JTF, SWB, of suspicious individual at the Southwest Border Mission Headquarters, Building 70525, OFC Navarro 210. I don't know if this is cut off or not. OFC John.
Yeah, it's definitely cut off. Because you all see the O is cut off. Who knows what's in front of that? But OFC is officer.
On stun. So officer, got you. Sergeant Caslin were dispatched. Upon arrival, patrols spoke with CW2 Daniel Head. Now, this is the thing. Even if this were real, this only proves that he was at the gate. Never went in. But okay. You didn't prove that he ever went in and saw anybody. But all right, good job. Okay, so anyway, they were dispatched upon arrival, spoke with CW2 Daniel Head, who stated that the individual entered the building with a backpack making concerning comments. The bag The bag.
The backpack. Candace, you couldn't even be consistent with backpack, girl. Backpack. Backpack. Y'all, when I read this stuff like this, with this type of inconsistency in the syntax and the spelling, I immediately think about phishing scam emails. You know, ones that come from some country in the continent of Africa saying, I'm supposed to be inheriting $50 million. Can you send me 5,000 and I'll send you the rest of the 45 million and we can make this happen? Like, that's what I think about. I immediately think of phishing scam email. When I see stuff like this typed up, the spelling is just god awful. And then the grammar syntax is so bad. It's like, did this person just put words together and didn't think how it sound? They didn't read it out loud to make it make sense. Why couldn't she keep the word backpack consistent? Simple things like this. Backpack. You can't make the sound.
Pack was taken. Okay, so now he said backpack and then it changed to bagpack. Yeah, mistakes like that don't normally happen, but okay.
Exactly.
Was taken away and placed outside of the north side of the building and called the police station to report the incident. Okay. Sergeant McCaslin, why would he even show up with a backpack?
Right.
That doesn't even make sense. Oh,
wasn't he there to get documents? Isn't that what he lied and said? He said, I was there looking for the CID building. He said, I was there looking for the CID building. He couldn't find it, but yet that is the base where he alleged he trained at and remembered the barracks that he slept in. But he couldn't remember where the CID building was. And he said several times how he walked around. Never said anything about any issues with walking. None of that. He walked around. Yeah, that's not the crux of this that got it for me. It's coming up.
Okay. Requested K9 to sift the bag in the vehicle. He should probably know better than that to take a backpack into a military base.
So,
it doesn't even make sense. For what reason would he do that?
Exactly.
A gray color Chevy Equinox plate gives the plate number. Hopefully he can actually show his plate number, but I doubt it. California.
Nope.
For the odor of explosives, OFC Officer Navarro and Officer Johnston made contact with the individual identified as Mr. Michael Snow, which...
Yeah, because Michael and Mitchell are not the same names. See, that's what did it for me. Michael Snow. So, like I said last week, I don't think that he's the same person as this Mitchell Snow. I think he's a lookalike that cut his hair and dyed his hair color. And he's trying to take on this persona, this character named Mitchell Snow. And he's being identified as a Michael Snow. How did he mess up that bad with the first name? So the backpack is not consistent. First name is definitely not consistent. This is based on his driver's license, to which we don't see in that image I just showed you all of what she posted up on her show. With this fool sitting on here, giving her 3 types of ID, 2 of which are heavily redacted, including the name. Because obviously it doesn't match Mitchell Snow. But Michael Snow is on his driver's license. It makes no sense. Mitchell Harrison Snow and Michael Snow are 2 different people. Because no one goes out of their way to redact the name on these military ID cards that I was told were for dependents if he's not lying about his name. Because that's the one piece of information you've already put out there, right? Because first it started off as a Harry Meyer. Now we're at a Michael Snow from a Mitchell Snow. But yet, did she ever post those court documents up? Because she said she would post up court documents on her website. You can't make this up. Mitch is his name for sure, and so is Harry. They are both in his name facts. There is no Michael Snow. Why he got a license with not Michael Snow on it? Why would he even show that if he has a military ID? That's how ridiculous this fool is. I can't even. I'm gonna be honest. I won't believe he's who he say he is until someone does a DNA profile on him. I can't even give that. I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I am not convinced that he is the same person. I am convinced so far these are two totally different people. And I want a DNA profile to prove his identity. I don't have to trust anything this guy says about who he claims to be. I'm going to be honest. I don't believe he's the same person. I just don't. This guy is willing to go and lie and redact everything that could even give away a name on a card. He has nothing to show that he's Harry Meyer. And then the ID cards he showed is heavily redacted. He's saying his name is Mitch or Mitchell. The driver's license saying Michael. It's too many inconsistencies for me. I don't trust him at all. Give up a hair sample and some DNA and a swab of the mouth, and then let someone else that's an actual police officer or investigator run his DNA in a system, and then we can get his identity verified that way. That's it. That's the only way I'll accept who he is at this point. This guy has no reason. Like, Candace does not care about lying like hell. This guy is not going to be honest. If he's going along with this so-called fraud, this ruse, and let's say, because Candace shows are pre-recorded and pre-scripted, she doesn't wing anything. They're pre-scripted and pre-recorded. And then she types this crap up after the fact. After the fact, she types this up. You would think if she had the actual valid, authentic incident report, she would have showed it while he was speaking on her show. Because that's how good journalism works. You show the evidence as he's speaking, not a selfie of himself wearing the same damn shirt that he allegedly is wearing in this photo that he's wearing in this so-called squabble. Same black polo shirt. And then he just comes on. The moment he said military people, you know, because I saw military people. I'm like, is that how? And I asked the question last week. Is that how people in the military refer to other colleagues, other people in the military? Do they say military people? And Manny, shout out to Manny, said no. That's not how Army brothers Army brothers and sisters refer to each other as. They don't say military people. People who aren't in the military might say, you know, it was a bunch of military people around. He literally used the verbiage military people. Because I don't believe he was in the military. Because that's not how they talk. That's not how they even refer to each other. Those are the things that I pick up and I hear and I take in to say, if this guy had to prove he was in the military with a DD-214, could he even produce that? Because why wouldn't he produce it? If someone requested a DD-214 from that fool on her show, would he even be able to show it? When these so-called cards have everything redacted, you can't even verify a name. And in this so-called typed up nonsense that she could have just showed if it was a true legitimate incident report there that she could get her hands on because she thinks she's so, you know, powerful and mighty. Why she can't get an authentic, legitimate incident report? Why didn't he give her a copy of the actual incident report done by a military police officer? Why didn't she post that up while she was talking to him on her show again? Why didn't she post up his DD-214? Why is everything redacted on these ID cards? I have no reason to believe that he is Mitch Snow. None. No reason at all. So from what I'm gathering so far, based on the information presented and this fraudulent ass whatever this is, she typed up. She found somebody that looks like the guy, Mitch Snow, and then he came on and purported himself to be that. That's how I'm taking it so far. Because the most mundane, basic things she could have done to at least verify his identity, they both have failed to damn do it. And they're going based on his driver's license, not his military ID. Y'all notice this? Let's go back. This is based on his driver's license, his name on his driver's license, registered in the state of Washington. A driver's license number, not a military ID. Because if he was in the military, or like these cards he showed, why didn't he just show that? Why didn't he just present military ID at the gate? They're going based on his driver's license. Like a civilian. Make that make sense?
Made contact with the individual identified as Mr. Michael Snow, which is weird how his name keeps changing. Okay. CIV retired from his Washington driver license. Here's his license number. Maybe I'll try to look that up later. I don't know if I can or can't. Mr. Snow stated that he used to work in the Joint Task Force in the 80s while he was in the Army. Mr. Snow also stated that he was threatened by cartels and that he needed to talk to someone about it. In INV, I don't know what INV is, Almost, and INV Carlson arrived on the scene and requested building 750.
I think INV is investigator. Correct me if I'm wrong. INV investigator, right? He should have a military ID that shows retired. Exactly. Yeah, he's not showing military ID. He's not even showing military ID that has his name, that matches his image, to access any documentation from a military base. They gave us his name and driver's license number like he's an ordinary civilian because reasons. But they couldn't give us any information from his military ID. Yeah, INV is investigated. Thank you, Foxy. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Shout out to my moms. Make sure you put in your YouTube channel link as well. Foxy and S Files. Drop your YouTube channel links in the chat. Y'all don't even have to ask. Just drop it so we can show you some support. Most military person gives military ID. Exactly. He gave them his driver's license. And he said that in the squabble. He said, as long as you have your driver's license, proof of some insurance, and the reason for why you're there, they'll let you on. Forgetting the fact that he's being captured on cameras. Because there's cameras at the actual gate. There's cameras all over the military base. Which is why you don't say you've seen someone on a military base and you don't have actual camera footage to prove that. It's too many damn cameras recording everything. In this reality here on Earth, you can barely go anywhere without a camera capturing you. Unless you're in the damn desert or in the forest of the Amazon. Like you're somewhere where there's no technology around. And it's mighty funny because, we found Saddam Hussein in the ground, in the earth. We use technology to do that. Heat signatures, we were able to pinpoint someone down in the earth. Plus corroborated with, intel. This idiot couldn't even prove military, like who he is, with military ID. You can't make this stuff up. Once again, he's lying about who he is until someone does a DNA profile on him. He didn't even say he showed them military ID. He said he gave them his driver's license and proof of some insurance. What the hell insurance was that? Because, I never heard of military base, letting you on base, having to see your proof of car insurance. Why would he care about that? But if they got to do that, then that's even more proof that you didn't have military ID. Because he wouldn't have had to show all of that if he had military ID, right?
25. to be evacuated due to suspicious package. The building was evacuated, and patrols secured both the entrances.
Oh my God, you can't make this
And
up.
V. Carlson arrived on the scene and requested building 75025 to be evacuated due to suspicious
Evacuated.
package. The building was evacuated, and patrols secured both the entrances to the area. Chief Davidson also arrived on scene to assist. K9 SPC Hayes K09, those are K9 units, obviously, arrived on the scene and conducted sniffs on the backpack. Now we're calling it a
Once
backpack
again, a
twice, okay,
backpack.
instead of backpack like the first time. Very strange.
Yeah.
The Chevy Equinox and building 70525 with negative findings.
Yeah, where are the findings at? Because that would be kind of detailed in the report. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of information that goes along with this. For you to say negative findings. Candace, why are you typing this shit up again? And not actually showing the legitimate, authentic incident report itself done by the MP. Why is she doing this? This is so stupid. She acts as if no person on earth or in the United States of America, you know, Candace, in the continent of North America, since she doesn't understand the difference between continents and countries. In the continent of North America, in the United States of America, the country, there are millions of people that are a part of the military. You can't tell me that she actually typed this up thinking no military personnel was going to debunk her dumbass. You can't tell me that. With negative findings. No. You got to explain this and spell out exactly what they sniffed. What all they were sniffing for. You got to detail that information. That would be in the incident report. That somehow she didn't think to just get a copy of from this guy, whoever he is. That's why I keep saying this fool, because I don't who knows what his name is. Who gives?
Okay. Carlson transported Mr. Snow to the MPI office for further investigation. This is a final report. All right. So he
No, it's
never
not.
even made it.
What military officer did this in? Who's the MP that did this? Candace. The MP would have his name on it. Once again, it would have his name, his title, ranking, military police unit, perhaps a badge ID number. Nothing. That stuff would be on the incident report. Who filled this out again? She literally just typed this shit up. Y'all see the header? Executive summary. Yeah, no, Candace. Executive summary. I bet you get a summary of incident, notifications, civilian actions. Y'all see this? That's where y'all see executive summary at? Perhaps I'm overlooking that. You can't make this up. you would have had. I mean, we should see his grade. His ID card would say retired. Shout out to Foxy for making sure to put that in the chat. His military ID would say he retired or something. It would get the status of whatever he is with the military. And yet he showed 3 cards and he couldn't show a name on either of those 3 cards. You can't make this up. I mean, I expect to see some information here. Summary of incident. Who, what, when, where, why, how. That makes sense. Because you're spelling it out, everything out. Notification, chain of command. Actions taken by the command. I mean, seriously. Y'all see this here? Actions taken, alcohol-related, ASAP, drug-related, UCMJ, LOD, flag, force protection, JPAS, family advocacy, civilian actions, because if they have to involve the civilian police department, it will be the police department that has jurisdiction in that area. Based on district, the county, if they have to get involved, they will involve them. But the military police is the first line of defense here. So if you got to have civilian actions, here it is. Where is that at? She didn't say anything about that. We all know he was kicked off. Then you have remarks. Candace, if dogs came out of sniff, that would be detailed information on here. She just said findings are negative. Based on what? Detail the test. I mean, just simple things. He was discharged after 7.5 years. Okay, it should say discharged. Wouldn't it say that on the military ID? Because I'm still stuck at the fact that he did not show military ID. He could have shown military ID. And you have to get those ID cards, updated. Just like a driver's license has an expiration date. To make sure the information is still correct and accurate. He showed his driver's license, but not military ID. And the driver's license name doesn't even match his name. Y'all, this is crazy. It's insane. Not mental issue. He was injured off site, non-military injury discharge. No, it wouldn't say discharge. What would be on it? Because it should be military ID, period. If we're talking about this thing here, where everything's redacted, you can't even verify his name. You can't even verify his name. Why is his name crossed out? Why don't he have his name shown? Why he don't have his own name shown? But the driver's license says Michael Snow. Oh, y'all. Snow is a very common last name. And I still don't believe that this is the same person. Because I don't understand why he would think that somehow his name needs to be redacted. Why? He's telling people his name is Mitchell Snow. So he's giving that away. Why redact it? It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. So I just, if he truly is Mitchell Snow, he gave us his name. We should see it on any of these 3 ID cards. Y'all, there are 3 of them. This is blurred. This one here has, I'm assuming that's for the state. Who knows? U.S. Army. Service connected. Won't show a name. Department of Defense, Uniform Service, in def, USA. Won't show a name at all. No name. No name shown. I'm not inclined to believe he's Mitch Snow. Not the idiot that was talking to Candace. This isn't a leak. She posted it up on her show. You could go watch her show for that. This came from her show. It's called The Snippet. You can't make this dumb shit up. This is nothing to leak. She posted this up on her show in her video on her channel. This is ridiculous. Brain rot is real. Yes, it is. But he didn't have a name. So how do we know who he is? That's the first thing you will verify. A name. Why is his name not showing? If he says his name is Mitchell Snow, the name field should be showing to verify he is the same person on these cards. Right now, all we got to go on is this nonsense Candace typed up with his driver license reflecting Michael Snow. That's not even a typo. She literally put in a whole different first name because she typed that shit up. You can't make this up. So I expect to see his name shown. This is a good question. Why is he out of uniform on his identification? Oh, man. That's a good question. I wish I could answer that for you. Aside from me saying that, he forged the photo because that's not him. Who knows? For him to say military people, he was in the army for 7.5 years. You say no reply, and he refers to other brothers and sisters in the army as military people. I saw other military people there. They have an actual nickname they call each other, though. You're talking about brothers and sisters in arms here in the army. And he says military people. That's the vernacular that civilians use. While he shows 3 cars with no name shown, no DD-214, and his driver's license that he showed at the gate, as opposed to his military ID, has Michael Snow on it. And that would have been captured on camera. So when you get up to the security checkpoint, there's a camera at that booth. So all of that would have been captured on a camera. Which is why it wouldn't behoove Candace to lie about this. If there's military, like the surveillance camera footage on the military base that could actually show you his image, and it would be able to show the cars he presented. All of that is right there on that camera. No name shown. I'm trying to figure this out. Why no name? No name? This blur. Candace trying so hard to get people to believe this BS is not even funny. And she types up something as opposed to just show us the real incident report done by a military police officer. Even if the incident occurred and is legitimate, why can't we see the actual incident report on the legitimate form it would have been completed on? Why can't we see that? He would have gotten a copy. They would have given him a copy of that. He didn't get it. He didn't bring that, of all things. This is what's so crazy about this. So crazy. Is Marine part of the military? Yeah, Marine is one of the branches of military. You got the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, Coast Guard, Space Force. That's a thing now. But he will still have military ID cards. And the names should not be redacted, because now we know your name. It's a matter of putting a face to a name, and he couldn't even do that because the face doesn't match the name. This is absolutely insane. He didn't show the military ID at the security checkpoint. You can't make this stuff up. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Why would he come forward to the whole world if he doesn't show his name? And he's saying his name is Mitchell Snow, not Harry Meyer, because it's his third name now. But yet, this so-called nonsense she typed up has Michael Snow on it. He should be able to produce a DD-214. He can't do that. He would have been captured on a camera showing ID at the security checkpoint, because this is common sense. So believe what you want to believe, but everything's on the camera. This is ridiculous. It would have been captured on the camera. Yep, there's a camera. Plus, if you show regular ID, they will tell you to pull over to the side until the person or representative come and retrieve you. He has a DD-214. I sent you part of it. But does it match his photo? Because if it doesn't match his photo, then I mean, that's my whole thing. Does it match his photo? Whoever Mitchell Snow is could be a real person. Obviously, I believe these are two different people. That's my point. Mitchell Snow exists. I don't believe the person that was on Candace's show is Mitchell Snow. I believe he is somebody else, because he's not showing anything to show us who he is. I don't understand why she would type something up and not actually show the actual incident report when she could simply just do that. And then the ID cards has his name redacted. But any other military personnel, active duty, or any person that was discharged, retired, will be able to show a DD 214. These are basic things. He's on the run, but he goes and does anything on Candace Owens show, so people can know who he is and what he looked like. Why would he do that? If you're in hiding, you're in hiding. Why would you go on a podcast show where millions of people are going to see you? That's the dumbest way to hide out. It's stupid. So you're saying, oh, come find me. At least I did this show where he could easily be targeted. Why even do that? There was no common sense in that. No common sense. This is insane. But the ID cards are heavily redacted. Not even to verify his name. But he comes out and says, my name is so-and-so, and here's my face now. Makes no sense. I want a DNA profile.
It to their secret little room. He was at the South Gate, suspicious. They found him in one of the closed buildings.
You just asking questions.
And then they were just going to walk in on every single important man in the very first building this guy gets to. Every single important man there, and this guy has a backpack that could possibly be loaded up with explosives. Right. Sure, Candace. I'm glad that this is an editable text, though. It's not a submitted form. It usually goes in a PDF, and I'll show you guys right here. Okay, now before we get a little further, I know this is late in the video, but please give me a like and subscribe. That's all I ask for. I don't chill. I don't have sponsors or anything like that. I'm just trying to grow the channel. If there's a hype button, I don't even know if there'll be a hype button on this video or not. It's so weird. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if it's there, maybe give it a click and we'll see what it does, I guess. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. So ask Grok, what are the red flags for this screenshot here? It said 1, image artifact suggesting it is an editable document, not an official export. The screenshot shows what appears to be a cursor, vertical I-beam, and the blank space below the main content. This typical of an active word processor like Microsoft Word or Google Docs during editing, not a static PDF or printed report. Official military documents are usually exported as secure PDFs without such elements. That's because the military doesn't want anybody to screw something up after it's been submitted. The overall appearance is plain text in grayish background, resembling a casual screen capture rather than a formal scan or printout. There is no visible letterhead, watermark, barcode, or digital structure that standard military reports often include for authenticity. Doesn't match U.S. standard Army military police report formats. Army law enforcement incident reports typically use specific Department of the Army DA forms, such as...
Okay. Here you go. Incident information report. Reporting unit. Because this is exactly what you would expect to see from United States Army military police station on real documents that actually have regulation numbers and fields. You should be able to check off. It should also be verified from the military police personnel, the officer that completed the incident report. Yeah, because an MP will complete the incident report, not Candace typing some bullshit up, because that's not how the hell it works. And she's not a military police officer. I'm sorry. Her cult members think she's whatever she says that she is to them. Yeah, let's not forget that. The cult believes whatever. Candy-ass cult members believe whatever she says. So if she tells them, today I'm Queen of England, they're going to say, oh, okay, all hail Queen of England. If she says today I'm a CIA investigator or, agent of some sort, all hail the CIA investigator agent. Impersonation, still a felony, whatever. Whatever she tells them she is, they believe that. Because you can't have a cult smarter than you. Because you can't. They have to go along blindly with what she says. I don't have to agree with everybody. There are plenty of people who disagree with me saying that I don't believe that fool that was on her show it's the same person. I think he looks extremely similar to the Mitchell Snow, and I just believe this guy is someone else because he's not connecting a face with a name at all. And the fact that he showed a driver's license and claimed that he showed some insurance to get into a base and not military ID speaks volumes, because it doesn't make any damn sense to go on a military base if you were in the military and not show military ID. Explain that bullshit right there. Help me understand it. If I got the ability to show military ID to get onto a military base easier, why wouldn't I just do that? Can someone explain that to me? We don't always have to agree. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I think it would be very cultish if the Luxers agree with everything I said. I want them to challenge me on it because I get to ask more questions like this. Can someone explain to me why someone in the military that claimed to have been in the military would not show military ID if they're going on a military base? Why would they only show their driver's license? Okay, let's see. And no replies give me an answer here. He says he will not pass the background check on the spot. His military IDs do not say Mitchell Snow. His military IDs do not say Mitchell Snow. They say Harry Myers. So presenting a driver's license that says Mitchell Snow with military ID saying Harry won't work. But his driver's license said Michael Snow. And then you get the driver's license number. So that means he doesn't have any information connecting him to being Mitchell Snow, because we don't know that. We saw the actual ID cards that Candace posted up on her show where everything's redacted. Everything, including the name. His name is either Mitchell Snow or Harry Meyer. So either way, why redact the name? That goes back to that question. Why would he redact the name if he's telling us a name? Mitchell Snow, Michael Snow, Harry Meyer. Why is the name field on those cards redacted if he's giving a name? How many more fake names is he going to give? If he's in hiding, why come out of hiding? If he doesn't want people to have a face to a name, why do anything with a podcast? Because this is just common sense for me. None of his military documents say Mitchell Snow. All of his military documents say Harry Myers. So why redact the name field on the ID cards if it says Harry Myers? Why even redact it? He's telling us a name. He's not saying initials. He's not saying my name is AB and I'm going to keep it that way to keep people from learning my name. He's actually giving us names. So why do that? That's what I'm asking here. His driver's license says Michael, not Mitchell. Exactly. So that's 3 names so far we've gotten from the same alleged individual. Regardless of his name, you're telling us names. Why not show that on these ID cards? We already are given a name. So why keep that a secret still, as opposed to just say, here are initials? Let me give you a pseudonym. Just Joseph, or Joe. That's it. Just a nickname. If I don't want anyone to know my name, I'm not going to give 3 different names. I'm just not going to give a name. I'm just going to say, I go by AB. I'm just going to give 2 letters as initials. I'm not even going to give a full name because that makes no sense. Now, the report said Michael, which of the report is wrong, which it proves it is fake because the military would have wiped his driver's license to get the data off of it. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even have. First of all, the incident report would be formatted to look like what is in the regulations and the policies for filling out an incident report for military police incidents. Anything that occurs on a military base. Those forms, those incident reports are based upon what is a part of their regulations and policies, and they're codified. So that incident report there's a name and number that goes with that type of report itself. The template is a part of their regulations, which is what I pulled up. I put the link to this so you all can check that out. I mean, I just did a quick Google search. You can't make this stuff up. It just seemed like it would be too complicated to make up either way. And which is why I don't understand this stupid, concocted, dumb story Candace is coming up with. Why she didn't just show the actual incident report, I don't understand. If she's going to type up all this stuff, why not ask him, can you send over the copy of the incident report that they gave you? If they gave it to him. I'm at a point where with this clown here, I want a DNA profile to prove his identity, and I want to see the actual surveillance camera footage. That's what I need to see at this point. He went to a military base and showed his driver's license that has a whole nother name from a different state just to get some documentation, so he claims, but it ends up being removed from the base because of a suspicious backpack. And then he couldn't find the CID building. But he was on this base once upon a time and slept in barracks on the base. No evidence, no nothing to show someone else was on the base that he spotted out, that he named. Once again, the driver's license doesn't even match. Why tell people your name? Why do that? He is a lookalike. That's my opinion on it. Until there's some direct evidence to confirm his identity, what's stopping him from being a lookalike? When he's not showing anything to put a face to a name. The IDs, the driver's license got different names on this. Apparently his military information is all going to say a whole nother name if he changed his identity. What's stopping this guy from just being someone who looks like a Mitchell Snow, but he's a complete different person? You know, because Candace, we can ask these questions as well. Yeah, because you keep saying doppelganger with Brian Harple. So what's stopping this clown from being a doppelganger as well? We can ask the same stuff. Candace, this is how it's done. You want to ask questions? So do we. What's stopping him from being a doppelganger? So far, I haven't seen anything that connects him to being a Harry Meyer or a Mitchell Snow. How do we know he's just not somebody that looks like the guy? Michael Snow, mighty close to a Mitchell Snow. Maybe that's a brother or cousin. Who knows? And they just happen to look awfully alike. Somebody said maybe he's a twin. I mean, we could ask these same questions and make these same theories as well. I don't understand, going on a military base from the state of Washington all the way out here, and then you say you spotted someone and you don't have any camera footage that would have captured all of that. This is insane. 3 different names for the same person so far. Next week, it'll be 6 names. We'll just be adding on a new name to this guy because he wants to somehow stay covert and hidden, while the information he's showing us is either redacted, is blurred, is faked and forged, typed up from Candace, and it still doesn't point to his direct identity. It proves nothing. It's just a bunch of BS. Because, Candace, we can ask questions as well, Claire. We sure can. The military ID could be fake. It could be. Who redacts it that bad? Why not show us the authentic incident report? That's all I'm saying. The Army uses a specific form. Why not just show that form? Done by a military police officer. that would have put his badge number on that as well. Just like any other police incident report that's done by a commissioned police officer that would have at least put their badge number on it. Candace is not an NPO. That's what's so crazy about this whole thing. It's nothing but hot air and a distraction because she can't tell us who's a possible alternative shooter that pulled the trigger on the damn gun, because that is what she was supposed to be looking into, and she failed to do that. She can't even competently bring in someone into this that can actually provide viable evidence. That's the beauty of being able to have these discussions. We get to even disagree on certain things. But I want my people to disagree if they do. I love when the Luxters provide the challenge. I do. I personally will not believe who he is or who he say he is until I see some DNA. That's just where I am with this. 3 different names now. We're at name number 3. Because Candace is sitting here trying to create dumb shit out of the top of her head to conform to a story, as opposed to just showing legitimate, authentic documentation. And yet he refers to his brothers and sisters in the army as military people. You can't make this stuff up.
DA Form 3975, Military Police Report. This is the standard for documenting incidents like suspicious activity or bomb threats. It includes structured sections for complaint details, narrative evidence, and signatures with a control number. A good example, like a case ID number for tracking in systems like alerts. Serious incident reports, or SIR, format per Army regulation, AR 190-40, will require a header with classification, addressee, subject line, and numbered paragraphs for add-ons and corrections. Other related forms like DA 4833, Commander Report of Disciplinary Action, or USAREC, Form 190-4.2 for certain commands. This document is labeled simply as Executive Summary with a free-form narrative, no form number, no case number, control number, reference ID, no signatures, no classification markings, unclassified FOU. I don't know what this is actually. FOUO.
Mm-hmm.
And no footer. What's wrong with me? And no footer with generation details from alerts. Official reports are highly standardized to ensure traceability and aren't just casual write-ups. Fort Huachuca specific guidance from Army Resources emphasizes compliance with these formats for incidents at the base, which is a U.S. Army Intelligence Center. Internal inconsistencies and typos. Building numbers fluctuate, referred to as 70.
So I pause. I'm pause here so y'all can see this form that he just named. CAR 190-45. The other link I sent was for AR 190-4. So you all can see that. So within the same grouping of the regulation code 190-4 here, but this form 3975 is the Army regulation code 190-45. And you all see this here, military police report. There you go. You don't need to be a detective to Google this stuff. This is simple. Candace could have posted this, the actual military police report. There you go, right here. This is public information. Why didn't she post that up? Why in the world would she feel like she need to type something up? This is so crazy. Hold on, let me see your LLC find his court cases and his change of name in Washington. Okay, I'll look that up. I sure will. That's where his driver's license is registered. So I sure will pull up. It would be done. Would that be done in whatever county court to do a name change? There should be a petition or something, some court documents on file. So I sure will look that up. So you guys see here, here's the military police report. You see the fields? That how in the world she put this stuff up, didn't even try to type this stuff up. Report type, info, traffic, military offense, criminal complaint, evaluation, founded, unfounded. This is the information you expect to see. Clearance reason. Death of officer, prosecution declined, extradition declined. You expect to see this stuff checked off. Complaint received by, in person, 911, CB, telephone, mail. That's how you expect to see this. Involvement, hate, death, trainee, domestic, gang, extremist, MP action, military police action, MPI, CID, MP, civil authorities, traffic, other. Y'all see this? This is stuff that you expect to see in this military police report for the Army. Army Regulation 190-45. Why did she post this? This is absolutely bonkers. Then you have a national incident-based reporting system. Here are the location codes. Because everything is codified. Even the regulations are codified. Type of weapon, force. It's very detailed here. And she couldn't manage to at least ask him for a copy of this. He could get a copy of it since he's the subject matter. He's a person of interest. They would have given him a copy. Why didn't he bring that? What type of clearance does he have? He's talking about he can get into a secret meeting. What that would require this high level type of clearance? None, confidential, secret, top secret, other. You expect to see this stuff. Offender's disposition. They want to know what he was wearing. That's not typed. That's not in this stuff that Candace Owens typed up. You don't see his clothing described here. How dressed at time of incident. Offender's disposition. Identifying marks and location, along with ethnicity. Hair color, eye color, complexion, age, juvenile, race, height, weight, male or female or unknown. Like, you expect to see this stuff. They even have marital status. Let's go back to this garbage Candace typed up again. Because, I didn't see any of that in here. Y'all let me know if I missed something.
The Chevy Equinox and building 70525 with negative funds.
I don't see anything about what he's wearing. Eye color, hair color. Y'all see that here? We see a vehicle, his driver's license. He said he used to work in Joint Task Force in the 80s. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all see anything about what he was wearing? Eye color, hair color, height, weight. Y'all see any of that? Any description to identify him? Any marks? Location of identifying marks? Did he have a gash? Does he have a mole? Where is it at? That's visible to the naked eye. What y'all see any of that in this report here? What you expect to see from this form? Because, you don't need to be a detective to read. Reading is fundamental. To the candy ass cult members, this is why reading is fundamental. Y'all see any of that here in this damn thing she typed up? I don't see any of that. Somehow we got a bag and a vehicle. We didn't get anything else. Candace couldn't even do that right. You can't make this stuff up. What a clown.
In this incident report that should not have been. Now, Harry Myers. So, Michael, I don't know where Michael came from.
Yeah, God. Who knows?
025 in parts. I don't know why it said that, because this doesn't appear like this. But he did catch this. He caught these two buildings that are literally talking about one building in the entire report. It's talking about one building. And for some reason, they're numbered differently. That's weird. Name discrepancy. The report calls him Mr. Michael Snow, but Owens and Snow himself use Mitch. And he also calls himself Mike Myers, right? Or not Mike Myers, Harry Myers. So Michael, I don't know where Michael came from. Is Mitch short for Michael at times? I always
No.
thought it was just short for Mitchell, but maybe I'm wrong. I've never called anybody by Michael other than anything short other than Mike. But okay, maybe Mitch could be. Maybe Mitch is his middle name. I don't know.
The middle name of Mitchell is Harrison, right? Mitchell Harrison Snow. Who knows? It could be Michael Myers. Like the actual killer. Like you can't make this stuff up. What's stopping him from calling himself Michael Myers? Freddy Krueger. We're almost there. He might as well name himself Candyman.
Maybe Michael's his real name. Man, my hair today is getting caught up all inside my wires. I should just pull it back.
Michael Myers.
Anyway,
Lord.
So, name discrepancy. Yeah, we did that. Odd phrasing. Sentences like making concerning comments or the abrupt, this is a final report, feel informal compared to regimented military language. Yeah, that's also weird. Why is that the final report?
Who knows?
Especially on that. That's weird. Online scrutiny and claims of forgery. In the immediate aftermath on X and YouTube, multiple users, commentators, including Alex Jones and others, have called it out as potentially fabricated, arguing it's a screenshot of a computer screen that could easily be typed up. Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, we all know this part. I don't need to explain that. It obviously looks fake. I don't need to explain why it looks fake. Counterpoints supporting potential authenticity. It aligns with some details from Snow's story. Date, location, I don't care about that because if it's Snow that typed it up, of course he's going to put those details in.
Exactly.
It's Candace Owens that typed it up.
But no identifying information about him, what he was wearing, hair color, eye color, weight, height, none of that shit. None of that made it into the actual incident report, which is what you would expect to see in an actual police report. Who is this so-called perpetrator? What does he look like? What was he wearing? What's his disposition? They even have that in there. Because those things are important. If you do a full report and you're talking about someone with a suspicious backpack, you've had to clear out a car and a building because of this backpack. Of course, you're going to put down what the hell he's got on from head to toe. Is he wearing glasses? How old does he look? His age, his height, his weight. Does he have a gait, a limp? Does he walk like he's been injured in the past? Is he in a wheelchair? Is he walking? Does he have a cane? Does he have braces? All of those things would have been identified in the report. Because those are factors to help us know who he is, to identify him. Somehow none of that crap landed in this fake ass report Candace typed up, but it's supposed to be there based on this full, legal, legitimate, authentic, because this could be used in a court of law if it had to be. This could be an exhibit in some criminal matter in court. So they have to make sure that they're detailed in this. How do you miss any and everything describing the offender? How does that happen? This is so stupid. Candace is just distracting. Candace, who is the person that pulled the trigger? You were supposed to be telling us that. You're bad at this, Candace.
Same thing. She has all those details from Snow.
You can't make this
so
up.
It's not actually anything that details match up at all. Means nothing because they also have that information. And Owens claimed it came from insiders, if real. It could be internal alerts generated summary for non-criminal incidents, which are sometimes less formalized. Really doubt it, though. No one from Fort Huachuca or the named officers have publicly denied it. Oh, wow, that's really something, right? Because the government's going to come out and say anything about it. No, they won't. Government documents can look dated or plain due to legacy systems. Ultimately, no confirm. Someone would need to file a FOIA request or contact the Fort Huachuca Provost Marshal Office for the official record.
Yeah.
Candace, why don't you do that? Why don't you file a FOIA?
Because that's public information, Candace. It's a police report, except this is specific to the United States Army. You couldn't just have him post up that police report. He was the offender. You didn't put any identifying details. that we would have expected to see in the legit police report? You can't make this up.
Okay, Alex Jones, I
No
challenge you too.
nothing.
Let's file a FOIA and let's find out. That's what we should do. Now, anyway,
He should have brought
Candace was caught
on her
red-handed here
show.
on this. So he says, after Candace Owens was caught red-handed, falsely claiming Congressman Mark Amodai
This is crazy.
was part of a secret TPUSA meeting at Fort Huachuca, she is now attempting to flip the script by releasing a blurred document she claims proves her source was at the base September 9th. In the document, her star witness, known as Mitch Snow, but listed as Michael Snow, claims he was detained on the base as a suspicious individual at the Southwest
Crazy.
Border Mission Headquarters. Nice try, Candace. You and your witness, quote unquote, have been reporting with no evidence that Erica Kirk had a TPUSA security, Brian Harpole, Cabot Phillips, and now Congressman Amodai were caught holding a secret meeting with officers. The thing about it
Army
is
officers.
apparently this Mark Amodai guy was not there. He was in Congress. And for all the people who are like, well, his time isn't,
Good grief, Candace.
isn't accounted for.
Yeah, you
11
suck.
a.m. Eastern time for him to be in D.C. would mean, now
Oh
Alex
my
got it
God.
wrong again. He thought it was 8 a.m. because he's thinking of California time. Arizona time's an hour ahead, so it'd be 9 a.m. Is it possible that Mark Amodai got into an F-16 and flew across the United States?
Why that specific congressman, I don't understand. I mean, why would he need to go out there about something like that? Of all the congressmen, of all legislators, why him?
And got to D.C. in 2 hours? Maybe. Maybe he could have done that and then been there ready. I doubt it. I really,
You-
really doubt it. Does
you know,
anybody
in
know,
Nevada-
has anybody flown from Arizona to D.C. in less than 2 hours? He would have had to have ended that meeting, hopped on a plane, and been there ready to do his stuff. Now, there's not official video evidence or anything to show he's
He's a congressman for the state of Nevada. The crime was committed in the state of Utah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the TPUSA headquarters is in Arizona, correct? I mean, are kids real? Is it TPUSA headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona? Let me know. I want to make sure I said it because this guy is a Republican congressman for Nevada. Why would he care? Yes, thank you, Mira. Why would this congressman of all congressmen care about anything going on in the state of Utah or in Arizona? He's a congressman from Nevada. What? Why this one? Y'all, this is insane. Candace is not even. You're pointing out congressmen that have no dealings with the state of Utah or Arizona. He's a representative for Nevada. Who cares what's going on? He probably could care less what's going on in the state of Arizona or in Utah. I'm sure he cares very much about someone being assassinated anywhere. But he's a congressman from Nevada. So what sense would that make? Why not just, if you're going to sit here and lie like hell on somebody, why would it not be the representative from the state of Utah? You pulling in someone from the Nevada? Candace, this is so stupid what you're doing.
had to have ended that meeting, hopped on a plane, and been there ready to do his
His
stuff.
reasons.
Now,
I
there's
know.
not official video evidence or anything to show he's in D.C., but there are witnesses. Apparently, he missed his first roll call, but his first roll call would have been like at 7 a.m. anyway, or
This is
something
so
like that,
crazy.
or like 10 or I don't know exactly what time. 7 a.m. or something like that in Arizona time. But let's look here. I said, can you link me the video of him being in Congress? Oh, I said, what? That's what we need because it linked me a stupid clip from 2024. So it's not even worth going over. What proof exists that Amodai was there? The primary proof that Congressman Amodai was in Washington, D.C. on September 9th, 2025 comes from public criticisms and reports debunking the conspiracy theory originated by Candace Owens as a sort alleging that he was at Fort Huachuca.
A congressman from Nevada, not from Utah or even Arizona. where the TPUSA headquarters is. No, no, no. Some random congressman from Nevada because reasons. Candace, who's the shooter you believe pulled the trigger? That's what the hell you supposed to be looking at, girl.
Arizona. Specifically, multiple sources, including one online discussion and reports surrounding the debunking, state that Amodai was observed throughout the day, September 9th, working in different committee rooms and on the House floor in the Capitol. This directly contradicts any claim that of travel of Arizona, as a cross-country trip would make simultaneous presence in D.C. impossible. The House representative had scheduled activities on that date, per the official committee calendar. Though it appears to have been a lighter day without major roll call voting, requiring his recorded participation. Here's the thing, though. People need to understand. Let me see. What is the fastest flight from Arizona to Washington, D.C.? Let's just find out. I want to know the absolute fastest you could get from Arizona to Washington, D.C. So it would be around 4 hours and 8 to 15 minutes. I don't care. Let's just say 4 hours. It would be 4 hours. So he'd have to leave there at exactly 7 a.m. And then he would get there.
11.
Let's see, that'd be 11. So he'd be there at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I know that's 6 hours what I've just told you, but you got to remember, Eastern time, they're 2 hours ahead. So Eastern time, it would be
time zone.
Literally 1 p.m. over there. He was seen before that by witnesses. Now, which witness am I supposed to believe? The witnesses in Congress or the witness that, I don't know, has already been caught lying several times?
Well, the witnesses, that can also be verified with security camera footage, because you can't go into the halls of Congress without being captured on a security camera, Candace, because cameras are a thing in this reality on Earth, you dumb heifer. She literally shows us every day, more proof that she's an alien. You cannot go into the halls of Congress without being captured on a camera. A camera. Security camera footage. Just like the military base. That fool line saying that he saw Erica Kirkin. Okay, show the camera footage. Why didn't you take a photo? This congressman was at the halls of Congress. He would be on camera footage. Cameras. Cameras is the word of the day. Cameras. Y'all, goodness gracious. You can't make this up. This man goes into the halls of Congress. He's been caught on at least 3 cameras. At least 3 cameras. He's not even going to be able to get into that building without being captured on a camera. The train that the legislators take to get there got cameras on it. The entrances, all the doors, cameras on it. Cameras in the hallway. Cameras in the elevator. Cameras everywhere. You can't go through the halls of Congress without being on a camera. That has date and time stamps, Candace. Camera footage has date and time stamps. Simple evidence. Simple. It wouldn't even be hard. This is insane. Camera footage. Candace is such a narcissist, she forget about that simple evidence that exists here on Earth in this reality. Camera footage.
Times. Mitch Snow about how he got discharged from the military. How he has, multiple domestic violence charges from 2023. Am I supposed to believe that guy? Candace, here's the deal.
I believe the camera footage.
Either prove they were actually there or shut up.
Camera footage.
I don't have to disprove them.
Nope.
We didn't have to go out of our way to disprove that these people were there.
It's not even that
in Fort Huachuca. We don't have to. When you say, oh, I saw someone there, okay, then you have to prove it. You
Camera
have
footage.
the benefit. Or we get the benefit of the doubt automatically. Anybody accused gets the benefit of the doubt automatically. Because it's innocent until proven guilty, Candace. That's how it works. That's what you need to do. I'm really, really, really tired. I am so tired of Candace putting out Nothing.
Shit.
Just nothing burger. She can never put actual any proof whatsoever.
None.
This, I have no idea what it is. No idea what system. He could have zoomed out, showed more of the system, could have showed us exactly what program he was using. He didn't. Whoever he is, or Candace, whoever made this document. Jay Witt, of course, posts the actual military police reports.
Thank you.
Of what?
Because, I mean, it's that simple. It's a military police report. I sent you all the form link. This is public information, Candace. See what happens when you're bad at this and you don't understand how laws, rules, or regulations work. Candace believes she's above the rule of law. Therefore, she doesn't think she has to learn them. And you would think Megyn Kelly, who was a former litigator, with her fake phony ass, would actually say, hey, no. It's called evidence, Candace. If you have camera footage to show these people being on this military base, or camera footage that could prove this congressman was in the halls of Congress, you understand that it's either going to make or break your allegation. Why didn't the fool pull out his phone and take a photo if he saw Erica Kirk there? Because why would she be on a military base to begin with? No, he's too busy having buildings cleared out because they are thinking he's an actual security threat because of a backpack. It's backpack, Candace. The term is backpack. You typed that bullshit up and you posted it. Backpack. So for me, it didn't happen until you show proof. He's not who he is until I see a DNA profile. It's so crazy. They're going to end up suing her into oblivion.
They actually look like. And then this person said they don't use them anymore. That form wasn't updated. Then he said, is there a more 2025 form of the form? Seems like what Candace showed us was a Word 98 doc. And they said, yeah, it looks like that. And I said to this girl here who said, everything is voice notes and AI generated. That's why it's a sloppy note instead of a big, long-winded formal document. It's a simple note. There's a report that can be released and is why the summary was released. And it's like, okay. So you mean to tell me the dude who typed the report not only failed to send the report, but took...
Okay, I want her to prove it. Tell her to post up the video camera footage. There's a security camera right at the security check-in booth. Tell her to post it up. This is what people have been asking her and expecting her to do, because that's what good journalists do. You say you have a police report, some incident involving whether it's civilian police or military police, you have that police report on a specific form according to the regulations based on what they utilize in the Army. It's not going to just be some generic template you just type up. That's not how that works anywhere. Even for a civilian police report, there are forms that are codified based on rules and regulations. It's a template you have for that police station to utilize to type up an incident report. It's never what you see with this Word document thing that Candace typed up. But it doesn't have any identifiers about the actual offender. No height, weight, hair color, eye color, mention of the clothes he was wearing. Was he wearing all black? Was it a brown shirt with blue pants? Nothing. Those things would also be in the incident report. Information about the offender. All of that stuff is missing. Why didn't she just post a police report? That's public information. She's doing things that make no sense to any human being with a brain here on earth. We want her to post the evidence. She refuses to do it and then says, oh, people are trying to shut me up. No, we want you to post the evidence up. I want to keep talking because there's more evidence to be used against her in a court of law because she acts like that can't happen either. Funny to me. Post up the evidence. I want to see the camera footage.
Took a picture of it and sent it to Candace before it was submitted. You believe this? And Jay Witt, of course, well, now that you say it like that. Exactly. Why is this document unsent and also have a cursor to edit the text? It's really weird, guys. It's really, really weird. That's a huge mistake right here. This was a massive mistake. They should have had that mouse off screen. And I think that's literally just this little line caught her red-handed. But what do you guys think? Tell me down in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe.
Candace is a fraud.
This is
And speaking of my brother Jay Witt, my brother in Christ, this is his video here. We're gonna go over this, and then one last video for just laughs and giggles. This right here, he didn't say anything wrong. Here's the form. This is it. If there's an addition, an update, it will say below, and then it'll have the date, the month, and year that it was updated. It will have that. This information would not change. Information about the offender would still be on the actual incident report. So if she had the police report and she's typing the information over to a Microsoft Word document, first of all, why the hell would you do that? Secondly, because you don't need to do that. Secondly, why didn't any of the offender information make it onto you, whatever you're typing up that she put up as an image? Let me share this right quick so y'all can see this. Sometimes inspect can be a friend. Yeah, okay. So if you all see here, inspect the elements, it's like the programming behind what you're seeing. If there are any coders, people who understand HTML or any programming, anything, just a basic level understanding of this, you'll be able to read and understand this information here. This right here, it highlights and even says in the coding, this is an image. IMG, if you all see on the side there, it's for image. If she had pulled that police report in, it would have came up as a PDF file that cannot be edited. But she didn't do that. No FOIA request, no proof of a FOIA done, nothing. So if you go to the image, pull it up, you right click, inspect, that gives you the programming behind the scenes. This programming language allows you to see what you see as the final result. IMG is image. Y'all can see here. She took a screenshot of the actual laptop and posted that photo up, but didn't actually even bother to show proof a FOIA request was done or had him, the fool, come on the show and bring the actual report, email it to her as a PDF. If he had a copy of it, it would have been electronically sent to him. He could have just emailed it to her. Simple as that. He didn't do that. So in the programming language here, you see this is an image. That's just doing a right click and inspect. And if you know how to read and understand that, you'll see that. Certain abbreviations mean certain things in programming language. Because you can't make that stuff up. It's so crazy. There's another layer for you. Candace, you're bad at this, girl. You are bad at this.
This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it. So the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there. Now, most of you may or you may not have heard Alex Jones. Yes, that Alex Jones called out Candace on Twitter yesterday. It was bonkers. I was not ready for that. I was not prepared. He breaks down some multiple problems with Candace's long-going theories. And of course, a lot of people, for some reason or other, are getting hung up on the Egyptian plane. I don't know why the Egyptian planes are the most egregious thing that she's done and said. I mean, they forgot about the BB letter.
I know, right?
They forgot about the 920 building. She said a lot of things that make no sense whatsoever. Now, granted, I think the Egyptian plane is the longest running foolish comment she made, because she only said like the red crane. She only mentioned that one time. But all of Delaware is run by the French. She's only mentioned that maybe once or twice. So I guess maybe the Egyptian plane is the longest running crazy story. But nonetheless, Alex Jones came out and he
Yeah,
gave her
Alex
that
Jones
word.
calling her crazy.
Goodness gracious. I'm like, man, if Alex Jones sounds logical and coherent, ma'am, you're
God.
doing everything wrong. There's nothing that you're doing right. Nothing. It's fair to say that you're doing nothing right if Alex Jones is
I'm
calling
live,
you out.
Seth.
All right, let's keep this dance going. Bring it up into the chat. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear.
I'm seriously concerned for Candace Owens. What I'm about to reveal, what I'm about to break down, come from a place of love. Please watch this report and do your own research. And Candace, please think about what I'm about to say and what I'm about to reveal before you dig this hole much further.
I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there.
Yeah, but not the police report. That's public information. Candace.
That there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the
good Lord.
location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca currently. I can confirm everything with metadata. I obviously
Metadata.
can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harpole,
Hey, Sam.
what percentage would you put it at?
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean,
5%, okay.
lures me to the garage that she pre-set up to be like a little prison. You know, she broke the garage doors, hoarded stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just find it so grotesque to be using this child to push along some narrative to disparage his mother. Like, this kid is going to see these videos. And it's just, kids can't help who their parents are, but this is so bad. This is really bad. He didn't have to even say involve the child. And let's say the mother was being abusive or anything, she should be in jail, right? She certainly should have been answering to this. And he would have custody of his son, would he not? But to sit here to weaponize the kid, and then you talk about everything but what's in the best interest of the child. This is terrible.
Stuff was stacked against the windows and the other doors. And she lured me in there and attacked me. Hit me with a hammer and, break my thumbs, my feet, back my skull.
Real quick, because
Exactly.
this is Mitch Snow. This is the guy, Candace.
Let me tell y'all something. Comment of the day right here, Melanie. Someone in hiding. Why put you have a kid up? Wouldn't you do everything you can to protect your children as a parent? You're in hiding and you put up a photo of you and your child. That's crazy as hell. That's some crazy work. You're supposed to be in hiding. How you in hiding? You putting up photos of you and your child. Comment of the day. This is why it's not a good idea to sit here and weaponize your kids. Comment of the day. He sat here and put up photos of him and his son, making his son vulnerable and open to these cartels coming after your child. Because let's be honest, if they're going to come after you, they're going to come through the people you love too. Especially when your children are your soft spots. When you can easily be manipulated if you think someone's coming after your kids, because you're going to do whatever you can to save your kids' lives, right? To keep your kids safe. You can't make this up. But he's in hiding and giving us 3 different names. But he's putting up photos of him and his son, a child, a minor. Make that make sense? Thank you, Melanie. Shout out to you. Comment of the day. You can't make this up.
This is, whistleblower that's tying all of the loose ends together. If you just go through X and look, notice that he has an arm brace on, and it is on the right arm. I've seen him in other interviews where it's on the left arm. Now, maybe both the arms have been injured. I don't know, but it just seems very suspicious. But also, if you remember,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was in
Candace.
witness protection, and he was allegedly in witness protection for 35 years. The NDA expired, and he came out of witness protection like, oh, I'm ready to, like Groundhog's Day, right? The problem is he has been on podcasts for years. This is not the first. Candace Owens' interview with him was not the first time he had an interview. He's been in interviews for years, commercials, lawsuits, just filling the place. He's been all over the place, but he's supposed to be under witness protection.
Yep.
Anyway, keep going, Alex. Let's go.
Eventually, I was hearing my son cry. I was worried about him, having her maul him with the dogs again. And she had done that multiple times. He had been hurt really bad. So when I heard him crying, I used the hammer to go ahead and break the door handle, pulled on my arm while I was holding the phone, dislocated my arm. That's actually one of the surgeries. I'm still recovering from getting surgeries from it. I saw there was already cops there. They were sitting on the corner at DeMoss Road and Van Giesen out there, Benton City, not far from our house, like 400 feet from our house. I could see them. And they weren't coming over. They were just sitting out there outside of their cars talking and chatting with each other. And
it's been an amazing trip. And most of all, the people that I've gotten to meet and hear their stories, it's absolutely fantastic. This has been a wonderful experience.
I want you to meet a man named Mitch Snow. He's very, very interesting. He is the new Egyptian planes. We're supposed to move off of the Egyptian planes.
Yeah.
That were the key to everything up until just about 4 or 5 days ago to Mitch.
Just like, Candace the alien, and wants everybody to forget that she ever alleged that the French president and Club de Sant were making transactions to have her assassinated. Like, it was supposed to forget that as well. Even though she never filed a formal FBI complaint and still won't post up the FBI text message she sent to this high-ranking FBI official. Yeah, none of that is real. Because, there was supposed to be a paper trail, and she didn't even ask for the evidence on that. And somehow, this guy is supposed to be in hiding, but using his child to try to get attention brought to how he was treated from the military. Because he barely talks about the kid. He didn't even mention the kid when he was having this squabble with Candace. Didn't even mention the child. He's sitting here trying to sit here and say that he saw Erica Kirk on a military base, but no camera footage, no photos, no nothing. Don't even mention the kid, though.
Snow. This is the key to everything.
Craziness.
Now, I want to be very clear.
Good night,
I've
Derek.
known Candace Owens since she first showed up on the political scene. I've always liked her. One of the first people to ever interview her. I have admired her, been friends with her.
Have a great
She's
night,
on our
Derek.
promos, for my own broadcast. And since we've seen the whole saga and the tragedy of Charlie Kirk's assassination back in September 10th of this year, it has turned into just a huge black hole issue, sucking everything into it. And so I've been forced to go study the different stories and claims and things that she's been getting into. And I've held my tongue with everybody asking me on air and at the grocery store and at church and my family about what I thought until the last week, because I hadn't done a deep study of it all. I knew about a lot of the pieces, but still had a lot of other things I was dealing with and covering. And so then I just started doing a deep dive in the last few weeks. And I focused on a lot of big pieces of it, but first off was the Egyptian planes. And right as I'm already doing the research and others are doing the research, a researcher goes and gets the flight data, actually buys the professional grade, puts out the fact that 66% of the time she said these planes were in the United States, they were another continent. And another 60% of the time, they weren't matched up to where she was. And then Candace came out a few days ago and said, yeah, she got some of that wrong. And then, of course, she met with Erica Kirk and thought things might be better.
Another round of debunking the Egyptian planes. I want to be very clear. We discussed the Egyptian planes, and I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our website, because I realized that when we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns, which was actually
Okay, I just want to point out something, and people jump on
What
me
the
about
columns?
this. Candace will
No,
never
it's the
admit that
data.
she's wrong. She'll
Never.
never say, like, I did something wrong.
Oh
My
man.
bad, I messed up. My bad here, I messed this up. She literally says that people assume, let me back this up. So listen to what she says about the columns. And she's talking about this column on the right. I'll get myself out of the way. She's talking about this column on the right because there's more information that's outside of it. And she did not publish that information because it conflicts with what she said. Okay. But instead of just saying, my bad, I did wrong, she says the people assumed something. Ma'am, you're wrong. Just
Right.
admit it.
It's wrong.
I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our website, because I realized
You already put
that
that
when
up?
we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns, which was actually saying where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erica had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into an interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I am certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady and that they were in fact
No one
tracking
cares.
Turning Point USA, Faith, broader events. Of course, Erica was at some of them, Charlie was at some of them, but it is the
It's irrelevant because planes can't pull the trigger on a gun. Who pulled the trigger on the gun, Candace? I think it's incredibly malicious and evil of you to even have an idea and you're tap dancing around the topic. You're throwing out the kitchen sink at the wall to see what sticks. We don't care about no damn planes unless the person that pulled the trigger is on those planes. We don't care. They're irrelevant. She can't even put anyone on the plane at the scene of the crime. She was supposed to be telling us who pulled the trigger on the gun. You know, because she doesn't believe it's Tyler Robinson.
pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes.
And then all of a sudden,
what are court docs?
She fires up this letter she gets from this person that says they were a medic in special forces. And
let me stop there too. Mitch never says that he's a medic. His records say that he was a medic. He said he's some kind of sensor guy that found that deep tunnel that the drug cartels were using. He didn't say he was a medic, but his record does say that he was a medic, a retired medic, and that he was in the military longer than he said he was. But I digress. So again, there's just another instance where Candace makes these theories, and once they start dying down, a brand new theory comes up, a brand new email comes, something gets sent to her that takes her in a whole new direction. Let's go.
True, but he was also in the witness protection program and stalked and had all this family violence against him. But Grok says it's the other way around, and that no evidence of him in witness protection. And in the years he says he's in witness protection, he's out on paid trips to Cancun because of his medical disability. I mean, just looking at him and listening to him makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And then his story of he's in Arizona the day before Charlie Kirk's killed, and he just decides to go to a military base, a restricted one, to see if they've got any files on him. And he gets there and has this whole story. It's directed to this building, and there's all these officers, and he thinks he sees the head of TPUSA security, but he wasn't sure then. It was later when he saw him on Sean Ryan. And then now he goes on Candace and suddenly says, I also saw, he's 99% sure, Erica Kirk.
You saw Erica.
That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before. And she was with that man in the lobby. And that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes.
Rare eyes.
That's 95.
I'm sorry, what color is his eyes again and hair? What was he wearing the day he was there? Because, Candace, you didn't put that in your imaginary report. You thought you could just type up. You didn't put down anything that could identify him because of reasons. That would be on the actual authentic police report. Where are the court documents? She says she will post up on her website. Has anyone seen those? Because I'm on her website and I can't find any court documents she said she will post up about this fool. Anybody see anything on her website with court documents or a link or something? Please email it to me or just, give me a heads up because I can't find anything on her website. She said she was posting up court documents. I don't care about them Egyptian planes because they're irrelevant to who shot Charlie Kirk. But she said court documents was supposed to be on her website. I want to see that. If y'all see it, let me know.
99%.
So I said, all right, let me go look at this. And Candace again is saying,
99%
she's
sure.
seen the metadata. It's ironclad. She's just not sure if he really saw Erica Kirk.
Oh, God.
Just like with the planes, it just goes from the Israelis to the Egyptians to the French to the U.S. military. And so before I get into the latest story of the military base and all of this, and somehow involved in killing Kirk, and just asking questions, just remember, I came out 4 or 5 days ago, and then so did others, with the flight logs, with the data, and said to Candace, please respond to this. And she didn't come out and say it wasn't true. So her ironclad information on that, well, wasn't that. But now we move right on to a new controversy. And I was talking to TPUSA the days before they were meeting in Nashville. And I said, either she's being paid by some bad groups to stabilize the Republican Party, which I don't think it is. I think she really believes what she's saying. Or she's had some type of mental breakdown, psychosis.
Candace don't believe that she's saying.
Or she just really believes all of this, but I think is somehow still delusional. Because I could go through dozens of the things she's put out and debunk each one. So where is she now on the planes?
She lying.
And the ironclad data and all of that. And there's so many other examples of this that we could drill into here. So Candace, I really genuinely care about you. And I really genuinely want to just ask you a question. Have you seen the videos of Mr. Snow?
Yeah, you know what's so crazy? Her response to Alex Jones was like, oh no, he's another one. This is crazy. It's like, here's another one that's sitting here. It's like she gets mad when people disagree with her. That's her response to this. Candace believes these lies. Like she doesn't believe what she's saying, but she knows she's lying. She knows it. That's why she's sitting here trying to type up stuff after the fact. She's trying to sit here to show evidence, to pass it off as evidence after she's already discussed it, when it should be shown while she's talking about it. She can't explain why he took a selfie, but he could pull out his phone to take a photo of Erica Kirk on a military base. Or why some random congressman for Nevada, who represents Nevada, would be involved in anything concerning this, but not the congressman for, the state of Utah, where the school is, or Arizona, where TPUSA headquarters is. No, Nevada, just a random state. He might as well be a representative from Colorado. It wouldn't even matter. It's just so dumb. And these people can easily gather all these videos and file a lawsuit, because we listen to Nicholas Brooks for a reason. Even just as defamation per se. You're accusing these people of being somewhere where you can't prove they were. And then you're trying to say they're involved in some murder plot, some meeting to assassinate one civilian. But that conversation is happening in some secret building on a military base known for intelligence. And somehow the Egyptian planes doesn't even fit into that dumbass lie. She knows she's lying. Because if Candace truly believed it, she wouldn't feel like she would have to type up some fraudulent document in Microsoft Word that's supposed to be coming from an actual police report, a military police report. She would just post up the military police report. Nope. Simple question she should have asked him, like, why are you, using driver's license, not your military ID? Oh, that's right, because you claim you changed your name. Why does it say Michael Snow on that and not Mitchell Snow? Oh, okay. Because reasons. Like it's just the dumbest stuff. She's just going with it as she comes along, as it goes along, as this stupid narrative and this story just goes along. She just makes stuff up. That's why she can easily switch like this. Because she knows she's making it all up.
I mean, have you seen him on
She don't
podcasts
care.
talking about how his wife
Doesn't
built
bet
a
her
prison
tits.
for him in the garage and then attacked him and broke both his thumbs and pulled his arm out of socket and mauled their son with a big dog twice.
Oh, God.
And then the police were outside and wouldn't help him, and they're all part of a conspiracy, and he's in a witness protection program. I mean, if I was just walking down the street and saw somebody talking like this, I'd say that's schizophrenic. And you look at his face, and then you look at the other videos out there of this guy. Okay? But people go, well, he was special forces. Supposedly, maybe, if it's even the right name from Grok. Okay. I know a lot of people were in the military that crack up and go nuts. In fact, a larger percentage. Anybody that's been around a lot of vets, they're great people, but they have a higher percentage of serious mental breakdowns and suicide, you name it.
Lures me to the garage that she pre-set up to be like a little prison. She broke the garage doors. Hoarded stuff was stacked against the windows and the other doors.
And he's saying this story like he's bored. He's not. There's no emotion in this at all. None. He's completely detached from this story. And the way they're invoking, empathy and sympathy and people's emotions, trying to get people caught up in their feelings, is by putting up this photo of this child. Because if you take that away, what you have is 3 grown adults sitting here listening to this moron talk about something that he's not even connected to. He has no emotional connection to this. And he claims that he's in hiding. He's in hiding, though? Is he in hiding? With a photo of him and his child up? Because no one needed to know how his son looked. He never needed to post up a photo of this child. But he's supposed to be in hiding.
No, she lured me in there and attacked me. Hit me with a hammer and
bored.
Break my thumbs, my feet.
Yeah, this kid's
Back
gonna
my skull.
you're gonna resent him.
Eventually, I was hearing my son cry. I was worried about him, having her maul him with the dogs again. And she had done that multiple times. He had been hurt really bad. So when I heard him crying, I used the hammer to go ahead and break the door handle, pulled on my arm while I was holding the phone, dislocated my arm. That's actually one of the surgeries. I'm still recovering from getting surgeries from it. I saw there was already cops there. They were sitting on the corner at DeMoss Road and Van Giesen out there, Benton City, not far from our house, like 400 feet from our house. I could see them. And they weren't coming over. They were just sitting out there outside of their cars talking and chatting with each other. And
needless to say, okay, you say you've seen the metadata on Mr. Snow. What's the metadata that he went?
Right, exactly. Because where's the security camera footage from all over that military base? Because there are cameras all over the military base recording in real time with date and timestamps. Why is any description of him in that police report omitted from what she typed up? Because when you tell the truth, you're incorporating documentation and facts that people have to see supported with evidence, because you can't just call your opinion a fact. That's not how that works. Candace is an alien and all, but she will never care about evidence. But when you're seeking truth, you're seeking factual information to go along with that. I don't give a damn what she claims to be. What she is not is an investigator or a journalist. You can ask questions until kingdom come, but when you make affirmative allegations and you don't have any evidence, you're just lying. And if it's hurting someone's credibility and reputation, you're being defamatory. Put her ass under oath and then ask these same questions again. And then see if she gives you the same answer. Put her under oath.
To a military base and got thrown off.
Let her face the penalty of perjury.
And so now that means this is all true.
There you go.
Can we see that metadata? What's the magic metadata? Can we see that information? And then again, he doesn't recognize while he's there the head of TBUSA security.
Police report.
It's after he sees him on Sean Ryan's show. And
they're gonna get
all of these leaks continuing on and on and on and on and on and on. And then TBUSA has the flight logs of the people you're talking about in the air and in different parts of the country while this is all going on. And I was told that they were getting together all of this proof. I'd gone and researched myself to go show you at that 4.5 hour meeting.
I'm not talking about the FBI. She could be put on her oath and deposed from a civil lawsuit. You know, like she will be under the Macron lawsuit. That's if she doesn't try to settle her way out of that first. Just like she won't go over the actual motion to dismiss. But she told all of her people, you know, I don't want this case dismissed. But then files a motion to dismiss and then continues to file another motion to dismiss. I don't care if you all believe everything she says. Put her ass on the oath and give her the penalty for perjury and then see what she says. Meantime, you're recorded on these military bases. Where's the camera footage? Because if she wanted to get that, she could. Oh, she could. Just like that police report. That's a FOIA request. That's public information.
When someone is going to assassinate someone political at this level, it is extremely compartmentalized and it is on a need-to-know basis. Exactly. And you don't have big, giant public meetings on basis by public, a whole bunch of military and a whole bunch of people, and they call in Erica Kirk and they call in the head of security, and they're all there in these big, giant powwows doing all this. Plus, it's Charlie Kirk helping get Trump elected, getting millions of people signed up to vote. You know, Trump has to be innocent until proven guilty.
I don't believe anything. I believe documentation such as this. This is the military police report used in the Army. Where is this at? This is public information. I'm sorry. Can any of the KDS cult members produce any of this evidence? Or why aren't you asking Candace to produce it? That's a good question. Hey, Candace, do you mind just posting up the military police report? Why are you typing that thing up? Where is this at? What was he wearing that day he was there on the military base? None of these identifiers you see on this in her little whatever she typed up and then took a photo of, a screenshot of, and then posted it up as an image. What's this actual report that is public information from a FOIA request? Because you can get it FOIA'd because it's public information. Now, I believe tangible evidence. I don't believe anything. I will not allow an alien who's crash landed on our planet, because that's what Candace Owens says she is, to sit here and just tell me anything. I don't owe her that benefit of the doubt. I don't have to believe anything she says. Absolutely not. She does not pay my bills either. So I owe her nothing. Where is this? Along with the camera footage. They don't ask her these questions at all. Free speech works both ways as well. But they don't ask her anything like that. They don't ask her for the evidence.
But we're not even talking about the left that wanted him dead. The left that celebrated his death. And you got Cash Patel, I've confirmed with people in the White House when this happened, yelling at Tulsi Gabbard, whenever she had the intelligence of domestic groups being involved, the 10 trannies in the days before saying he'll be dead when he comes here in a few days, and the day before saying he'll be dead tomorrow, and then that day he's killed. See, we told you. Or the guy down front saying, I shot him, and he says, I did it so the shooter can get away. And then Tyler Robinson saying he did it and wearing his trans flag tie and looking so damn evil and satisfied in court, that made it so much more clear that my gut that he's involved may have had help. But obviously he had people that were aware of it beforehand.
Real quick, I'm just saying.
I can't believe this. The biggest conspiracy theorist to ever lose a big ass lawsuit, by the way, because he lost his lawsuit. $1 billion? Like he had to pay one of the biggest judgments from a lawsuit because of his stupid conspiracy theories. Is sitting here saying Candace Owens needs help. Candace Owens needs to leave our planet alone and take her cult members with her. Candace, it's okay if you want to return back to your home planet. ET phone home, girl.
When Alex Jones sounds 100% on target, Candace, you done messed up. Usually Alex Jones sounds wackadoodle, but he is right on. He is on this bone. He is not. Lord. He is on it. Shout out to Alex Jones. Shout out.
Once again,
so
put
I
her
could
ass
just go on and on with this, but you need to come to grips with the fact that
1.4 billion.
Erica,
there you go.
Kirk, and all these people at TPUSA are real human beings, and they have lives. Lord. And just because Erica Kirk's got her act together and looks good and gave great speeches after her husband was killed does not mean that it's fake. When you've been in theater your whole life, and when that's what you do, and all those things are big performances, that's making the Republicans cool, rock and roll, then you act professionally after somebody's killed. In fact, I would expect someone with her whole background in theater and the rest of it to do that. But just watching Mr. Snow makes my skin crawl. He comes off, in my personal opinion, as a very uncredible person.
A fraud.
Shout out to Alex Jones. Somebody says he's going to blame Bigfoot next. Yo, tell me, what do y'all think? Let me ask a question. Do you think Alex Jones sounds like he is on point? Yeah, I don't like that guy. The fact that, first of all, when Candace said that he had been in, isolation, he is not letting people know about him, blah, blah, blah. But this dude has been on podcasts. You even saw the one right there. That was back in April. And he's been on other ones since before
been on
that.
all these other shows.
So, other ones before that. Why?
Posting up photos of him and a minor child.
What research did Candace do?
None.
How does she know that what this man is saying is true? I gotta know.
She doesn't care.
I really want to know. I don't see that she's going live today unless I missed it. Let's see.
This is the part he's live. So this is, this is what we are. Once again, she has a huge theory. I don't, like I said, I'm going to say this again to the Candy ass cult members and bots of bots. You come into my chat at your own peril. I don't care if you believe everything she says. I don't care. I don't care what you think or feel or believe or anything when it comes to that. Why not just ask her to show evidence? It's that simple. When you don't show that you have a spine to say, can you post up this police report? Because that is a FOIA. Or to the cult members, why not just do a FOIA request and get the police report yourselves? And then you can prove your cult leader to be right. Why not get the actual footage? Cameras all over around the base. You want to see if some congressman was in the halls of Congress on a specific date and time? Cameras all over the halls of Congress. Cameras everywhere. It is recording. Eyewitnesses, the security. You go into the halls of Congress, you got to go through security. The same thing with the military base. You got to go through a security checkpoint. But yet she conveniently leaves out, and that nonsense she typed up, she conveniently leaves out any information pertaining to the offender that you would see in any normal police report. All that gets conveniently left out. So there's no description of who the offender is that was kicked off that military base. That fool on her show. I'm sorry, what has he done that was so great for people to feel like they have to believe who he is in the first place? Why does anyone have to believe that he is Mitchell Snow? License plate said Michael. She said originally a Harry Meyer. Just go Michael Myers and we could just go full blown, Halloween man mode on him. Really? His name could be anything then. We're on name number 3. By next week, we're going to come up with 2 more names and 4 more photos and 6 more versions of this stupid story she's come up. If her shows are pre-scripted, then how do I know that she did not give him a script to read? Because I see that a lot. How do I know she did not give him a script to read? He could be reading a script. Even if his name that does not tell me he is telling truth. Exactly. I don't have to believe anything he says, and I certainly don't believe she says. Because Candace has the propensity to lie. I just wish she would do it under oath. I really wish she would just, under the penalty of perjury, make these same statements. Candace, I dare you. I mean, hell, why not just do a lie detector test? Might not be 99% accurate, but it'll be something. It'll be something to behold. Why not produce some evidence to support what you say? But he did a selfie of himself wearing the same shirt he has in these photos that she presented, where everything is redacted, including his name. But he's supposed to be hiding. But he puts up photos of himself and a minor child, making it easy for a cartel person to go after the minor kid. Why? How is that protecting the child? That little boy does not want to have his photo plastered everywhere because his dad is weaponizing him to try to sit here and to clap back at the military for doing something to him, when he hasn't even shown with evidence that this was done. If he was just a simple medic and none of those things happened with the cartel or any of that, I don't even know how he would still be able to get away with this at some point. So what's to stop me from believing that he wasn't just reading a script and she just made all this crap up? Like she's been making up stuff about planes and any and everything except telling us who this so-called alternative shooter is. That's what we're trying to figure out. You're going to sit here and come up with some, Candace? At least let the person be pinpointed on the campus, photographed with a weapon on him as a viable shooter. That's what she was supposed to be telling us. But she can't even get to that because she's creating all these other sideline distractions that mean nothing to no one. Did any of these people have a gun in their hand at the scene of the crime on the day and at the time that Charlie Kirk was shot? It's that simple. If the answer is no, I don't care. But she can't seem to get closer to that point. And she keeps coming up with all this other nonsense. No one cares about a plane. If you're not telling me that someone was identified on that plane, also at the campus, the day and time Charlie Kirk was shot, and this person was caught on a camera in a video, and they had a weapon on them. She's not even giving us a credible option here. That's the problem. She can't even focus on that. This is why I'm not. I don't have to believe she says. No, don't want to hold that. But she's not even trying to get closer to that. And that's what she said she would look into. Can't make this up. All right, thank y'all for listening and tuning in. We got this last video, you all. The night before Christmas with Candace Owens. This is from Bronson's YouTube channel. I thought it was just hilarious. And I'm going to put this link to the video because we got to end on some laughter here. And then on tomorrow, I will definitely do a separate live to go over, because I think I got enough information to go over this DeFord v. Catullus, where Candace is named as a co-defendant in this pump and dump scheme. You know, when you're being named in federal lawsuits for fraudulent activity, you have the propensity, if nothing else, to aid or, perpetuate fraudulent behavior. It speaks volumes on you, Candace, and your character. And it's just another layer, a federal lawsuit at that. So we got to go over that because this is insane. Her involvement in this, it really hurts her platform, her audience, but they don't seem to care, that she puts out a fake meme coin, tells people to buy it. She profits from it. And then they end up walking away losing money because the meme coins were fake or they just weren't even real to begin with. And they're absolutely worthless. They can't sell them. They can't get their money back. Nothing. Hence why she's named in a lawsuit. So we'll go over that tomorrow, along with a separate live on Umar, because his ass is catching it. Boy, these fraudulent scheming scammers and con artists and lying asses, cult leaders, they're catching it. They're catching the due justice they deserve. And Candace got her day coming. I would not be surprised if Judge Rennie did not order her to a psych eval. The way she's acting, it's overwhelming with people looking at this situation and all the crap she's done, even after having met up with Erica Kirk and saying she's lost her mind. If there's enough justification to warrant that, they will order her to a psych eval. Candace, you're skyrocketing yourself to that. You can't make this stuff up. So make sure you guys go check out Bronson's YouTube channel. This is just a quick little video, something to get a good laugh in, and end it on a positive note, because we may not always agree. But what we can agree on is that Candace Owens is lying like hell, and she's the one that claimed to be an alien. All right, let's get to this. And get some laughter back into the situation.
'Twas the night before Christmas, all calm on the screen, when Candace popped up with a look very keen. The facts were all settled, the story was clear. But Candace said, "Wait, something's weird over here." She tapped on her mic and leaned into her chair. "There's more to this story," she said with a stare. She looked left and right and then up at the wall and found secret plots where there weren't any at all. "The police say it's simple," said voices polite. But Candace said, "Nope, that can't be right." She circled the clues that were easy to read, then added 5 twists that nobody needs. She gasped at the obvious, frowned at the plain, turned straight little answers, all twisty again. "Aha!" she cried out. "I feel it inside. When facts feel too boring, a theory will do fine."
Yep.
She spoke very loudly. She spoke very fast about shadows and whispers and secrets from pasts. The listeners blinked and scratched at their head. Did she just say something? Or nothing, they said. She stacked up her guesses like blocks way too tall, then smiled as they wobbled and started to fall. "Just asking questions," she said with a grin, while tripping on facts she'd already walked in. At last she signed off with a wink and a glow, and she whispered her motto, "We don't know, but we know."
don't know what we know, and Candace don't know no good. You can't make this. That's so crazy. Oh my dear Lord. You can't make this. Oh my God. Y'all see that sinister smile? That's scary as hell. What the heck is going on? Oh no. Oh, that was scary. That's spot on, y'all. Candace, girl, you looking like Evil Lynn, straight out of a fairy tale book that crash landed on our planet. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going 3 hours in. Y'all, this is something else. Okay. And listen, I'm gonna look up the try to find any court documents on a petition for a name change, which Miss Snow, I will do my due diligence with that. No reply. So shout out to you. And we don't always have to agree on everything. I think the guy is somebody completely different, and he's just so happen to look like a Mitch Snow. That's my thoughts on that. But I'm not saying Mitch Snow isn't real. I just don't think it's the fool that was on that show. But I get if people disagree. It's okay. You see, we're not gonna melt. We disagree. This isn't a cult. I welcome new ideas and different ideas. But what I'm not gonna do is entertain foolishness and someone expecting me to prove Candace right. We're not doing that. The audacity of her arrogance to think people supposed to do that. Child, please. No, we don't. We owe her nothing. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Shout out to all of you all. Shout out to my mods, to the members, supporters, and to everyone. I appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas. New Year's is coming up, and I definitely will be live New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, as usual. And I appreciate you guys hitting that like button on the way out. And I will see you all tomorrow. So until then, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.